13 years old, young Matthew Miller. And anytime now, we'll be looking to see the action starting live in living color right here. The umpire just looking to the main scoreboard. Shango is ready and go. And Richie Thomas, wearing the number 11, will start, and he'll be bowling to Yuri Smith. They started with a slip, a gully, a short third man more or less, a backward point, a cover, short mid-wicket, short fine leg, feeler on the offside, long off, and a mid-on. So pretty interesting feel here. And Bernard Joseph with his left hand out, just giving the clearance, and we starting bang on time. Thomas comes in now to bowl to Yuri Smith. First ball wide, and more or less a round arm action coming there from Thomas. Wants to be as tight as possible, and the defending champions, PIC Liberta Blackhawks, they're off and running. They won without loss. Thomas from the media center, and he comes in now to bowl to Smith, and again, just well within the line. Bernard Joseph has a look and says, no, I won't be able to call that one today. GM Benjamin, the wicketkeeper, good glove work so far. He's been able to just pick that up nicely. And so the score remains on 1 without loss. Here is a cracked short delivery being just put away out to the sweeper. Yuri Smith is off the mark, and the score goes up to 2 without loss. So 2 without loss. Just to let you know that the coverage comes to you compliments of what we would say Community Sports Network, CSN. And so we thank them very much. Mark Charles, Taddy Arundel, Kerry White, all the guys who have been able to get themselves organized. A place is available for one of these teams to get into Saturday's final. The defending champions, the PIC Insurance Liberta Blackhawks. $22,000 at stake. That's what it's going to take for somebody to win this year's 2022 championship. Richie comes in out to bowl to Kofi James, who's driving sweetly out to cover. He's only able to get one. So both batsmen are off the mark, and the score is 3 without loss. 3 without loss. Richie Thomas, more or less gentle medium. I'm not trying anything too much. Look, a strange move there by Rising Suns, that they decided that they were going to win the toss and send in Liberta, but they'll have better options. It's not happening. Here is Yuri Smith driving inside out over cover, first boundary for 4. He had room, he had a lot of room just outside the off stump, more or less a friendly delivery from Richie Thomas, and Yuri Smith driving to the line, hit that inside out over cover and down to the boundary for 4. Shadrach Descartes just had to scurry back to just retrieve the ball from the dugout. In the meantime, the score goes up to 7 without loss. Here we go. Thomas in now to bowl to Smith. Smith driving. Oh, it's through the fielder at the offside. More running here for the sweeper and Shadrach Descartes. Sweeper gets around, and they get 2 runs. In the meantime, the score goes up to 9 without loss. So first over costing 9 runs so far. And anytime soon, we will be able to find out who will be coming from the CIUN here in this encounter. 9 without loss. Thomas comes in now to bowl to Smith, who is playing a naughty shot. Yuri Smith. No need for him to even think about that. First over completed, and at the end of it, PIC Liberta Insurance Blackhawks, they are 9 without loss at the end of over number 1. The music blaring in here into our studios. Cheeky Hi-Fi sound system rocking the Coolidge Cricket Ground, the vendors. The music playing away here. And we expected to have a bumper crowd here later this afternoon, later this evening. It's going to be a big game. Jennings Bethesda. You got to look out for that one. Let's see what's going to be happening here now. Dean Williams will start from the Media center end, not the media center end. Now turn around now to the CIU end. 9 without loss. And Kofi James is in strike. He's won. As Dean Williams comes in out the bowl to Kofi James. Full toss is driving airily down to the boundary for 4. There's no third man. And James given wit. He had a chance to be able to swing his arms. And he just leaned into that, peeled off. Over gully and down to the vacant third man boundary for 4. Score rushes up to 13 without loss. And James goes to 5. 1 extra so far wide on the first delivery. Yuri Smith is on 7. And this is the first semi-final action taking place here in the 2022 Cool and Smooth T20 explosion. James already 2 half centuries in the championship today. The captain looking to make some changes there. Bruni. He's now decided that he's going to have a feeler in the short third man area. He's bringing around Thomas. I think maybe he might be advised to maybe have Thomas go right back to the short third man area. In fact, go to the third man position. Because I don't think Dean Williams has that amount of pace. Here's Kofi James driving through cover past Shane Burton down to the boundary for 4. And if Burton is going to be in the cover area, based on how Kofi James is attacking, he maybe needs to give himself some room and go back. Give himself an idea so he can be able to see the ball. I think he's just close. He's more or less in a short extra cover area. Should really go back, start walking in, because Kofi James is an attacking player. He goes hard at the ball. 17 without loss in the meantime. James 9. Williams into James. Squared him up. They're looking for a single in the end. They get it quite easily. James picks up his 10th run. And if they want, they could get another one. Thomas trying to throw down the non-striker's end, but backed up in the onside. And the score in the meantime quietly goes up to 16, sorry. Get ahead of myself. What's happening here? Umpire Bertil Baltimore, who would have played U cricket and also played for the Antigua and Barbuda during Leeward Islands tournament. Dean Williams in out the bowl to Huey Smith. Huey Smith losing his shape there, his form. Had that hit from the number 3 young Bruni. Shama Pereira. I think Kofi James might have been in some problems. Huey Smith just losing shape there with that shot. Just would be advised to just keep his eyes on the ball. Head sort of moved. Dean Williams, medium pacer, in out the ball to Smith. Smith is driving beautifully up the mid-off, getting an easy single. And so the score quietly just rattles on. Shango, the lone man on the portable scoreboard here. Score goes up to 19. 19 without loss. Kofi James, who's on 10, he comes into strike. Spectators are making sure they walk with their water, because it's going to be a long day, long night. 19 without loss. PIC Insurance Liberta Blackhawks sent in by Rising Suns in the first semi-final. Here's James driving, thinking about a single, change his mind. And the end of over number 2, the score is 19 without loss. 10 runs off the second over, 9 off the first. If you're wondering what's happening on your YouTube channel, or you're wondering what's happening on your television, it's the Cool and Smooth T20 Explosion first semi-final. The defending champions, PIC Insurance Blackhawks, and they're taking on Rising Suns. Rising Sun winning the toss and deciding that they are going to chase. We'll find out if that was a good decision or not. Yuri Smith, in the meantime, he is going to wait now for Richie. Dying a little bit onto the keeper. Rising Sun be looking to try to get early wickets here. Richie Thomas starting here for Rising Sun. Shako and Hewlett just rubbing away at the ball. That one sort of died on Benjamin. And I think Benjamin would be advised more or less to step up. We've got to go through this team here. I realize that there's no Dario Hodge, so I don't know if he's injured. Wide delivery, and because it is so wide from Richie Thomas, umpire Bernard Joseph gets out his hands and signals, get acknowledgement from the scorers here who operate in the electronic scoreboard, and also Shango. Richie Thomas comes in now to bowl to Huey Smith. Huey Smith is driving in the air and will fall in no man's land. Picks up a couple of runs right here quite easily. It's massive boundary here. And the fielder, number 6, wearing the number 6 jersey, was able to come around nicely. Junior Henry get a positive throw back to the wicketkeeper. 1 bounce. In the meantime, the score goes to 22 without loss. Going to over number 3. Ladies score here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, the home of cricket, West Indies. Richie Thomas in out the bowl to Smith. Smith driving straight down the ground for 4. That's a lovely on drive. Beautiful shot. Early. But he hit it ferociously. And it rattled down to the boundary for 4. 26 without loss. Huey Smith is another young player from Antigua and Barbuda. Had a stint in England last year. And also played for the Leeward Islands at the junior level, under 15, under 17, and also under 19. So he's been around. Good positive shot there by the young man. That will give him some confidence to go from strength to strength. Richie Thomas in out the bowl to Smith down the onside. Another wide delivery again here by Thomas. Thomas is all over the shop. Got to concentrate in terms of what you want to achieve. In the meantime, the score goes up to 27 without loss. 27 without loss. Going to over number 3. Richie Thomas from the media center and comes into bowl to Huey Smith, into Smith. Smith is back and just steering this one into the offside, picking up an easy single. And good run in between these two. Good communication. The score goes up to 28 without loss. It now brings Kofi James, the informed Kofi James, into strike. James announced his intention in the last T20 tournament, which was held by Cool and Smooth in 2019. He's back and cracking that down to the boundary for 4. Can't bowl that line. You don't have any pace, Richie Thomas. And that's a meet and greet for Kofi James. He just laid back and cracked that pass backward point down to the boundary for 4. And the score goes up to 32 without loss. It's almost looking like a run fest, as we would say. Rising Sun, they're going to have to get wickets because they're going to be under the pump here. PIC Insurance, Liberta Blackhawks, they have strengthened their squad with Terrence Ward, who normally plays for them. So there's no stranger taking place there. And the young lady just walking across the side screen. She's in no hurry. Now somebody on standby umpire Leslie Reefer Jr. is trying to indicate to her that, listen, you have to get moving. Richie Thomas into Kofi James, into James. James gets a back of the length delivery, just stabs it onto the offside. The fielder coming in, misses it. He came in one hand. And you'll be advised as a coach very early o'clock, Mr. Malinga Booney. Both hands behind the ball. So finally, the third over comes to an end. And at that point in time, the score at the end of 3 overs, 34 without loss. Here is a Dean Williams delivery being sneaked away into the offside. Can't stop the single because these two, they are very good runners. And they were able to pick up the 35th run for the PIC Insurance Blackhawks team. Now brings James into strike. Kofi James, 35 without loss. Dean Williams in now to bow to James. James is no pace there, so unlike Thomas, who's giving him pace, that one sort of stopped on him, so he got across, a little bit square, and almost nearly chopped it onto his stump. Dean Williams mixing up his deliveries, 35 without loss. It's a lovely day here in Antigua and Barbuda. And the crowd trickling in for the first semi-final, 35 without loss. Dean Williams from the CIUN in out the bowl to James. James driving beautifully on the offside and getting an easy single. Score goes up now to 36 without loss. If you're listening to Platinum FM 97.9 in Antigua and Barbuda, and wherever you're listening to us, even if you're viewing us on channel 8 on CTV, you just need to be able to get up to the Coolidge Cricket Ground. Come and support Antigua and Barbuda cricket, Leeward's cricket, West Indies cricket. Dean Williams in out the ball to Yuri Smith, who just clips this one over the short fine leg down to the boundary for 4, and no pace at all there. You've got to be able to have a little bit more venom there. And Dean Williams is guilty of strain down the onside, and Yuri Smith just more or less just helped it. And there are lots of vacant spaces here on this land, and you just have to find them. 40 without loss. Smith is now wanting to indicate to, well, I thought he was going to push the short fine leg back, but he's changed his mind. Dean Williams moves in out the ball to Yuri Smith. Yuri Smith is just whipping this one beautifully, 4 more. The ball pitch anywhere between middle and leg, and good wrist work there by Yuri Smith. Just timed it beautifully to perfection in the air, but in no man's land. And the score goes up to 44 without loss. 44 without loss, and we're into over number 4. 44 without loss. If you're wondering what's happening, I'm Vernon A. Springer, bringing to you ball-by-ball coverage of the first semi-final of the day. Defending champions, PIC Insurance Blackhawks, they're batting first, inserted by Rising Suns. Williams in now, the ball to Yuri Smith, stands up straight and just eases it onto the offside and gets a single. In the meantime, the score goes up to 45 without loss. So 45 without loss at the end of over number 4. And 11 runs coming off that over. So it's been a happy hunting ground here for Smith and also for James. We back with the cricket action. Over number 5 is going to be started by Shane Burton, who's replaced Thomas. Burton in now to bowl to Yuri Smith, who's driving down the ground. Shaquan Hewlett coming around nicely, and they get 2 runs quite easily in the end. Shane Burton just pitching up that delivery and just extending his arms. Yuri Smith hit straight and was able to pick up 2 runs quite easily. So the action happening fast and furious, as they would say here in Antigua and Barbuda. And if you follow the movie Fast and Furious, you will understand what we're talking about. You break for a while, bang on target, can't score. And so that's going to be very, very important. So the score remains on 46 without loss, 46 without loss. It's all happening here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground in the first semi-final. And that is going to be important. Just a little slight change taking place. Some movements going back. Shane Burton has now pushed his mid on back to long on. Here comes Shane Burton as he comes in now to bowl to Smith. And he's just to James. And James is whipping this past the fielder at short fine leg and being able to pick up a single. In those areas, they are critical areas. You got to be able to make sure that you're key so you can more or less feel those balls. And the fielder there more or less giving away a single. 48 without loss. We break for a while as Shane Burton moves away, comes in now to bowl to Smith's driving to cover. Is upset that he really didn't put that away. Richie Thomas at cover, feeling good that he maybe might have fielded the ball. 48 without loss. Shane Burton bowling his first over here. After Thomas was pretty expensive in the neck of woods. The idea. Little adjustment being made. Umpire just looking around to make sure that everybody's okay. A slip. A short third man backward point cover mid-off. Wide delivery here by Shane Burton. Maybe Yuri Smith just looking and saying, maybe another time and another day. Maybe just open my face of my bat and hit that or get a little closer to it. On the leg side, you have a long on, short mid wicket and a short fine leg. And on the offside, you got a sweeper. So there's protection on both sides. As Shane Burton comes in out to bowl to Smith. Smith is driving straight down the ground. Descartes comes around nicely. And they get one run in the process. So the end of over number 5 comes to an end. The score, latest score here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, 49. In fact, no, it should be 50 without loss. So the 50 up for Liberta, 50 without loss. Back with the cricket action. Isaiah Booney, the captain, has brought himself on. 50 without loss, 5 overs completed. And he will start the 6th over. Bruni's in now to bowl to Yuri Smith, who was going for the first INET maximum. It's gone all the way. That's a lovely shot there by Yuri Smith. He's just tossed up. And he decided that he was going to go down on it. And he leaned into that. And hit that wide long on for the first INET maximum. So score in the meantime goes up to 56 without loss. 56 without loss. This is going to be a real go-to situation when we look at what has been happening. 35 to Yuri Smith. Here is Bruni. Smith just maybe feeling that, hey, I should have done a lot better with that. It's just too casual there. Going about it. Good start here by Liberta. 56 without loss. Isaiah Booney, the captain of Rising Suns, starts from the CIU and in out the bowl to Smith. Smith is switch it down to the boundary for 4. And that's what happens when you have all those skill sets in your armory. The score in the meantime goes up to 60 without loss and Smith goes to 39. This is a lovely start. Kofi James is on 18. Bowling figures here so far for Rising Sun. Richie Thomas, 2 overs, no maidens, 24 runs, no wicket. Dean Williams, 2 overs, no maidens, 21 runs, no wicket. And Shane Burton, his first over cost him 5 runs. Smith driving, picking up an easy single. If he hit, he might have been in trouble. But he was scurrying to get there. In the meantime, the score goes up to 61. 61. Yuri Smith is in a hurry here, I can tell you for sure. He's now gone up to 46. He should be 46. Now brings Kofi James, the quieter of the two today. He's maybe not ready to tee off yet. But in fairness, Yuri Smith has faced more balls than Kofi James so far in this innings. When he comes in out the bowl to James, James is just stylishly turning this one down to long on, picking up a very easy single, and the score in the meantime goes up to 62 without loss. Into over number 6. 62 without loss. Yuri Smith has looked good so far. Driving beautifully through cover. If they want, they could pick up a couple of runs. They're going to challenge, and they're picking up those 2 runs quite easily. So the end of over number 6, the score is 64 without loss. Some 14 runs coming off that over. And the end of the power play. This has been a good start here by the defending champions. PIC Insurance, Liberta Blackhawks. They've been inserted by Rising Sun. Shane Burton, the captain, Mr. Bruni, still has himself positioned in the slip area. He's maybe thinking now that he has to come out of the area. He's now putting in, let's see, is he going to remain? No, he's coming out of the slip area now. So let's look and see what's going to be happening. On the leg side area, the captain Bruni is now gone to short mid-wicket. We've got a mid-wicket, a long on, a short fine leg, and on the offside, a third man, a backward point, a cover, long off, and a sweeper on the offside. Here goes the man himself, and Shane Burton, who starts with a wide. And so Jamal Hamilton just walked across past us, who is not playing today. So 65. In the meantime, the score goes up to 65 without loss. Shane Burton into ball to Kofi James. Kofi James going across the line of the stump. He's out leg before. Shane Burton strikes. Kofi James is upset. The ball pitched between middle and leg. Going across the line of delivery. Missed a straight delivery. And he goes back into the pavilion. Got to be able to watch that ball a little longer, Kofi James. Once he didn't get an inside edge onto that, it's certainly going to be curtains for him. He walks back a dejected man. But he's in such good nick that I'm sure that he would feel very slighted the way in which he got out. So James comes back. LBW to Shane Burton. And the defending champions losing their first wicket on 65. So welcome back to the cricket action here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground. Shane Burton picking up the first wicket. Kofi James, LBW to Burton for 19. He faced some 12 balls, 26 minutes at the crease, hit 3 boundaries. And in the innings so far, they have 8 boundaries and 1 INET maximum. 65 for 1. Out comes Kareem Agor, who plays for the United States of America. Originally, always played youth team cricket. Got up to the under 19 level, also represented Antigua. And now plays for the United States of America, and as you could always say, is one of the folks who would have come through the system at Liberta. The captain Bruni is now gone back into strike. As Gore is into his stance, wait for a Burton delivery, just leaves alone. So a slip, short third man, backward point, cover on the offside, long off, sweep on the offside, on the leg side area, long on, mid wicket. And there's no one in the mid-wicket area, but you have a short fine leg, more or less inside the 30-yard circle. Shane Burton putting a little breaks here on the scoring. Comes in out to bowl to Kareem Agor, who's out caught behind. That is a beautiful outswinger. And squared up Kareem Agor. Took an edge, and Jim Benjamin, the keeper, took an excellent catch. He nicked it, and Shane Burton, he comes up trumps for Rising Sun. What an excellent catch there by J.M. Benjamin. And what a spell so far here from Shane Burton only in his second over. Kareem Agor goes back without scoring. Pitched in the perfect area, the corridor of uncertainty. And he got a nick. It was an excellent catch there by Benjamin. Shane Burton strikes early for Rising Suns. So, conversation taking place with Yuri Smith. As the new batter comes out. Looks like it is Terrence Ward. Well, just wait and confirm just to make sure. Cheeky hi-fi music playing away in the offside. Terrence Ward, the St. Kitts captain, Leeward Islands Hurricanes player, walks out at playing his first game for the School and Smooth, replacing Jamal Hamilton in the squad. And he walks out number 4 for Liberta. Yuri Smith, 42 from 25 balls, 29 minutes so far at the crease, 5 fours and 1 6. Ward waits for Burton, comes in out the ball to him. He gets a good delivery and has to defend with his top hand. Bang on target. And this has been a good aggressive spell here so far from the man himself, Shane Burton, who I would say had a way below par game in the last encounter. This game is certainly come out on top. Let's wait and see what's going to be happening. Burton in now to bowl to Ward. Ward is fishing at this one outside the off stump. He might say, listen, I left that alone. The score in the meantime remains on 65 for 2. 65 for 2. It's all happening here in the first semi-final. Shane Burton rubbing away on his left foot. Trousers. Burton in now to bowl to Terrence Ward. That sort of kept low. And he was backing across and trying to force, but in the end he had to stop it. So 7 overs bowled. And Rising Suns trying to come back into the game. Compliments of their top man. They're 65 for 2. They've lost 2 important wickets. The first one, Kofi James, LBW to Shane Burton for 19, and Kareem Agor caught J.M. Benjamin, bowled Shane Burton without scoring. Both batters going on the score of 65. 65 for 2 is the latest score here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, the home of Cricket West Indies. And so that's going to be very, 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 very important. Bruni, the captain, is going to come in now anytime soon now with a slip, a gully backward point, more or less short third man backward point to sweep on the offside, cover, long off, long on, mid wicket, and a short fine leg. Bruni is going to move in nicely from the CAO and comes in out to bowl to Yuri Smith is just turning this into the leg side area. It's going to come back for 2 quite easily. That's good running by Terrence Ward, who is also very fleet-footed. And Yuri Smith. Smith in the meantime goes up to 44. 67 for 2. 67 for 2. Bruni is now pulling the slip out. Dean Williams and putting him at the short mid-wicket area. Shaquan Hewlett saying to him, I think you have to bring the short third man around a little bit more. So settling in into a nice groove here. Here's a drive down the ground by Yuri Smith down to long on. Getting an easy single. In the meantime, the score goes up to 68. 68 for 2. Now brings Terrence Ward, who's a not in strike. 68 for 2. Bruni is going to move in now nicely. He's going to bowl to Terrence Ward. This is his first game of the season. Down the onside, just tickle away down to the short fine leg and find out whether he got a little tickle onto it. Think he might have got some bat onto it. No, he didn't. As a leg by, missed it completely, and Bertil Baltimore makes a signal. In the meantime, the score goes up to 69 for 2. 69 for 2. Here comes Booney in now to bowl to Yuri Smith, who is back and looking to punch that. Can't beat the feeler. Cover. Shadrach Descati is ringing away at his right hand. Meantime, someone just going past the side screen on the northern end of the grounds here. Smith is back and just late cuts, trying to go past Thomas. Thomas coming around nicely to his left. Cut it off. Had to go 360 around. But he can't stop the single. Smith goes up to 46 and the score goes up to 70 for 2. 70 for 2. Here goes Bruni in now to bowl to Ward. Ward is coming tentatively forward. Take some time to start Ward. Over number 8 in bowl, and the score is 70 for 2. So there's a little meltdown, a little slowdown in the middle overs here by Liberta. Yuri Smith may be thinking about his half century, or maybe might be ironing to figure out that he's going to have to bat as deep as possible in this context if Liberta is going to get anywhere close to 170, 180. That certainly would be his objective. That in itself is going to be key. Shane Burton, in the meantime, has had a wonderful spell. 2 overs, no maiden, 6 runs, 2 wickets. So it's going to be very important that these two maybe keep Shane Burton out of the wicket column. Here is a wide delivery. No, it brushed Yuri Smith tie pad. A good take by J.M. Benjamin. And umpire Bernard Joseph signaling very early o'clock that it did brush him. 70 for 2. Shane Burton moving away nicely from the major centre in here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, home of Cricket West Indies. Burton into bowl to Smith. Smith is coming quietly forward and just stroking it onto the offside. Picking up an easy single. Shaquan Hewlett almost walked in. Can't stop the single. In the meantime, the score goes up to 71 for 2. 71 for 2. Yuri Smith goes up to 47. Now brings Ward, who's a naught, in strike. Shane Burton wearing a big number, number 10. Football terms, really, not cricket terms. Ward is naught. Down the onside, and he just gets a tickle onto it. Beautiful save by J.M. Benjamin, but he can't stop the single. And finally, Terrence Ward is off the mark. So Ward off the mark, and the score goes up to 72 for 2. 72 for 2. James and Gore back in the pavilion. This has been a magnificent spell so far from Shane Burton. No slip. Yes, Kofi Yuri Smith is flashing at a wide delivery and lucky to get away with that. Sort of looking for power. Really just needed to just keep his composure. Just remain cool, remain calm. Just batting. Just bat. The art of batting is always important. He's faced some 31 balls to date. 38 minutes at the crease. And he really deserves a half century. This will be his second. Got 51 earlier in the tournament. Yuri Smith against New Wintrops. Here's a clip around the corner. Beautiful stop there by the fielder, but he can't stop the single. Big effort there from the number 7. Looks like Dean Williams, the veteran. You would say more or less that it came straight to him, but the most important thing is that he had to stop it. So you can't take that one away. The score goes up to 73 for 2. 73 for 2. This has been an impressive spell from Shane Burton. Very impressive. He's really put his hand up here today. Burton into bowl toward short delivery. Hits his one in the air. Safe. Can't get to the long on. To Descartes. He hammered that one into the ground. Ward was not in position. Almost like a tennis serve, like got away with it. The end of over number 9, and the score is 74-2. That's the latest score here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground. PIC Liberta Blackhawks batting first after being sent in by Rising Suns. Bruni will start from the CIUN as he looks to start the 10th over. PIC Insurance, Liberta Blackhawks is 74-2. Ward is in strike. He's back and punching that. Can't beat the short midfielder, but in the end it ricocheted off and they were able to get a single. Dean Williams maybe needs to give himself some room because he's onto the strips here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground. And that came off like a bullet. Score in the meantime goes up to 75 without loss. It now brings Yuri Smith, who's on 47 into strike. Booney comes in now to bowl to Smith. Smith is driving down the ground, long on in the air, but away from any feeler. Goes up to 48, and the score in the meantime goes up to 77. In fact, it's 76. Booney comes in now to bowl to Ward back and punching it onto the offside, picking up another easy single. Now the score goes to 77. Important period of play here taking place. Booney in out the bowl to Smith. Smith just driving elegantly on the offside. 50 to Yuri Smith. Very well deserved 50 to the young man. And he gets small appreciation, small applause here from his teammates and also from the small crowd here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground. Ward back and looking to get another single again. So this has been very productive so far. Good sensible cricket here by these two. And in the middle overs, that's what you want. You don't need to give your hand away. You need to play positive cricket. Very positive. Bruni. In now to bowl to Smith. Smith is more or less looking for a switch hit. Can't stop it and get not only one, but he gets two as the fielder coming in there. Thomas trying to throw down the non-striker's end. Really was not necessary. And in the end, over number 10 is completed. 10 overs completed. And the defending champions, PIC Liberta Blackhawks, they're 81-2. They've lost James and Gore in the process. Bowling figures here so far. Just in case you've just tuned in and wondering what's happening. Richie Thomas, 2 overs, no maidens, 24 runs, no wicket. Dean Williams, 2 overs, no maidens, 21 runs, no wicket. But the man of the spell so far has been Shane Burton, 3 overs, no maidens, 10 runs, 2 wickets. And Booney has been pretty expensive by his standard. Not for 24 in the process. 81-2, 10 overs completed. And the big question is, what will happen here as this game continues? Shadrach Descartes, he now comes into the action. Let's see what he's going to be coming up with. Descartes. 81-2. 81-2. Very important period of play. We're talking about another 60 deliveries to go. We're halfway there in the first semi-final of this important Cool and Smooth T20 competition. Number of private sector companies have come on board to be able to support this venture. Shadrach Descartes, thinking about it, turned and then had to stop. It's going to come in out to bowl to Terence Ward. High backlift in out to bowl to Ward. Ward back and cracking that down to the boundary for 4. That's a lovely shot. Waited on it, balance was good, got the right foot across and cracked that down to the boundary for 4. And the score quickly goes up to 85-2. Talking about the sponsors who've made this tournament a real huge success so far: Pineapple Beach Club, Supreme Security, Kennedy's Club Limited, Stonewall Reloaded, Antigua and Barbuda Cricket Association, Images Design, Signs and Impressions, Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority. We break Descartes to Ward, in out the ball to Ward. He gets a slow cutter and he peels off the outside half of the bat down to the backward point fielder. Cedric Descartes saying he can't get a single there, but it was really well calculated by Ward. He used the pace and didn't try to overhit it, just opened the face and just played with his top hand. And the score in the meantime goes up to 86-3. Now brings Yuri Smith, who's in strike on 52, to continue. I think he will have to bat as deep as possible. This is going to be a critical partnership. He's done all of the work, and he cannot afford to give it away now for his team. Something that I have not been able to see happening here, executed by a number of batters who have started the innings, and that to me has been the major problem. Yuri Smith has an opportunity here to be able to bat as deep as possible. In fact, bat all 20 overs and get himself a nice 100. Descartes now the ball to Yuri Smith. Short delivery, just helped it over the short fine leg. Bad bowling here by Descartes, and down to the boundary for 4. Score goes up to 90-2. .56 is Yuri Smith. The score goes up to 90-2. Descartes guilty of trying. He doesn't have the pace, so there's no need for him to try that. Descartes in now the ball to Smith. Smith is back and pulling this one into the leg side area. The fielder from mid-wicket coming around it hesitated for a moment. That should have been 2 runs. And there was no intensity there between Ward and Smith. Normally you have intensity all the way. The fielder had to, from the mid-wicket area, he had to run at least a good 10 meters. Descartes to Ward. In now to bow to Ward. Ward is fishing at one. Real good pace, good carry, good take by Benjamin. In the meantime, the score goes up to 91-2. Descartes, by his standards, would feel very slighted. He's really not performed. He's always come to the cool and smooth T20 tournament, and he's been one of the guys. The last time he was here, he scored a half century, bowled, got a couple of wickets. Been a little bit under par here, based on his own performance. Descartes in now to bowl to Smith. Smith driving beautifully. Good positive shot there from Terence Ward. Good straight drive. At the end of over number 11, completed 10 runs off the over, 91-2. So when you look around at this game, Rising Sun will be able to say that they've done nicely compared to the start, which was 65 without loss. At the end of over number 11, 91-2, is more or less a rebuilding block stage for the defending champions, but they can tee off in their hut. They still have their captain Raheem Cornwall, who scored 58 in the preliminary game the other evening. So you just never know what's going to be happening. Sure, they'll be looking to get anything close to 170, 180. A little guilty that they have not been able in the first 2 games to get even up to 200. Sure, something Coach Kenny Benjamin would have been talking to them about. Booney comes in now. He comes in out to bowl to Smith. Smith is gone. Down to the boundary for 4. More or less like a slug sweep into the square leg area. And the field place in here by Booney. Booney's got to understand, you've got to have protection. You can't have that lone fielder on the leg side area. He's now decided, he only had a mid-wicket. He's now decided to put Shaquan Hewlett back into the deep backward square leg position. And that is a bit risky, a little bit too late. Score in the meantime goes up to 95-2. Booney to Smith. In now to bow to Smith. Smith switch it. 4 more. And that's what happens when you're balanced and you can play both shots. And he's going to give Booney a torrid time. He's going to maneuver the field. And that's exactly what is happening here with Huey Smith. Really a run fest on here when we think about it. 99 for 2. Smith goes to 65. 40 balls, 49 minutes. 8 fours and 1 INET maximum. Booney, the captain for Rising Suns, coming in now. Bows to Smith. Smith driving down to long on. Picking up a single. 100 up for the defending champions. PIC Insurance Blackhawks. And Huey Smith goes up to 66. He should be eyeing 100. And not just eyeing 100. A big one. This is where you make a statement. And I hope he's thinking like that. Here is Terrence Ward just stroking this onto the offside. Picking up another single. And the score in the meantime goes up to 101 for 2. It's all happening here. A powered moment for someone who's going to come up with something. Booney comes in out the bowl to Huey Smith. He's gone outside the line of the off stump to try to come up with a paddle. Missed it completely. He's upset with himself that he really didn't get bat onto ball. So a dot ball here. 101 in the meantime for 2. 101 for 2. We're into over number 12. Booney, the captain. He comes in now to bowl to Smith. Smith is beaten by a beauty. So 12 overs bowled. Latest score here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground. The PIC Liberta Blackhawks, they are 101 for 2. Back with the cricket action here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground. Ward been able to pick up a couple of runs there. In the meantime, the score goes up to 103 for 2. Descartes in now the ball to Ward, rushing him a little bit. And I think the umpire Bernard Joseph thought he was going to signal a leg by, but he looked like he got a little edge onto that one. And so the score goes up to 104 for 2. Descartes just asking him, the umpire Bernard Joseph, did he hit that? Yes, he did. Because the umpire didn't signal. He's the man in control, Bernard. So you got to pay attention. Descartes. Wide delivery. And it's gone so wide that Huey Smith couldn't get close to it. And Bernard Joseph gets his long hands out. And he's a big guy. He's about 6'4", 6'5". Umpire Bernard Joseph. I mean, the score goes up to 105 for 2. 105 for 2. The action taking place here, as we would say, happening so quick. You got to pay attention in terms of what's happening. Here we go. As Descartes is going to come in now to bowl nicely to Huey Smith. Smith again, really sort of losing his shape there. Dean Williams having a torrid time there at the short fine leg area, but they're only able to muster and come up with 2. In the meantime, score goes up to 107 for 2. I would hate to see someone like a Huey Smith put in all this work and then just come and just give his hand away. Something which I thought that Kofi James has been guilty of in the 2 previous half centuries that he would have batted for. You think? Here is Smith now trying to get fancy. to play something that I'm certainly really not working out. Why would he want to play that? I'll never understand. Couldn't get that worked out there at all for me. 107 for 2. Break for a little while. It's going to over number 13. Descartes in out about to Smith. Smith is just trying to get reckless, and there's no need for him. Brilliant backup there from the captain, Bruni, for All Saints. Not All Saints, but Rising Sun. I just get the impression that Smith is just getting a little tired, just wanting to try different things. No need for him to try anything. He's batting well so far. 108 for 2. 108 for 2. We're into over only number 13. Don't know if you had instructions from the dressing room. Short delivery. Here's Ward pulling at this one. Dean Williams is making an effort at it. He won't get no, the fielder coming around is gone for 4. When you get there at that level, you got to be able to take that. So the score in the meantime goes up to 112 for 2 over number 13 completed. As I say, good afternoon to Nicole.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Vernon Springer. Great to be here for the first time in this tournament. 112 for 2. Vernon, you're someone that's been around local Antiguan cricket for years. My first real experience in this cool and smooth T20 exposure, which I must say has been a massive success. Just to see the professionalism, the organization of the tournament. And I think this Liberta Blackhawks team, no doubt, has been a force to be reckoned with. 3 games they've won, all batted first here today, again batting first, and showing you why they've been able to be so successful.
Well, in terms of the success over the years, they do have a power pack team. And if you realize today, the Leeward Islands captain was left out, and another player in Terrence Ward, who normally plays for them, also was drafted in. So when you look and you see in the likes of a Kareem Ago, plays for USA, Raheem Cornwall, Avia Christian, they've really got some depth, and they're going to be very hard to beat. In fact, they're the best fielding team in the competition before the semi-final. And in T20, you have to be a good fielding unit. 112 for 2.
I found it very interesting that Isaiah Bruni won the toss and actually elected to bowl first, given the fact that the Blackhawks would have batted first 3 times. And so we've seen the damage that they've done, getting up to scores close into that 200 mark. So I'm thinking, in a semi-final, you want to put the best team on the back foot early by maybe asking them to do something they haven't done in the tournament thus far.
But I think that analysis that you just gave maybe could be down to the point that Rising Suns batted first the last game, and they maybe feel that they can chase anything that the border comes up with. So we'll find out sooner rather than later. Let's see what's going to be happening. First delivery here started by a new bowler for Rising Suns, and he's coming to the attack. Omari Heiliger, he starts with a wide. The score in the meantime goes up to 113 for 2. 113 for 2 into over number 14. Over number 14, 113 for 2. Here is Smith driving in the air. He's going to be out caught. And he gives his hand away, Nickel. And that's what I was talking about. You can't put in all that work and then give away 100. This was an easy 100 here, Nickel, from Yuri Smith.
Well, yeah, but I do still think that he's being unselfish by looking to take on that extra seam. First delivery for this bowler, though, into the attack. So he may have wanted to have a slight look. But nonetheless, given the start that they have, what's left, as you can see, the big man, Raheem Cornwall, making his way out to the middle. I can't really fault him for wanting to take that extra bit of risk because of the batting depth that this Blackhawks team has.
The thing about it, Nickel, is that you have to understand, right? Everybody's starting from north. And so the good thing about cricket sometimes is that when you get a start, you have to cash in. And cricket is a funny old game. I'm sure you played for some time, Nickel, is that you have to respect the game. So when you inform, you have to cash in. Cash in and cash in big. And like I was saying before you came on, a number of these batters have not been able to go as deep as possible. This is just only the 14th over. And you can't just be contented. If you look at the score, it's 113 for 3. It means that Raheem Cornwall and Ward will have to come and start their innings. And on this track, it's maybe not that easy. 113 for 3. Flagman has just come in with a cool and smooth flag. He's been a servant to Antigua and Barbuda. Almost every event that you could think about, Flagman is always around. Carnival, Independence, any fete, he's here. Heiliger picking up his first wicket. We break for a while. Here's a beauty of a delivery. Ward just going hard at the delivery from Heiliger. Yowie Smith just out for 69, 47 balls, 58 minutes, 8 fours and 1 6. And he would have done all of the work and really should have been walking in the park here with 100. I'd like to see young players get 100, especially at this early age. Heiliger in out about the Ward driving, square, sweeper coming around nicely. Good work by the young fielder there. Was an under-19 player. It looked like Pereira, Shamar Pereira sweeping on the offside. Good powerful return back also. In the meantime, the score goes up to 114. 114 for 3. Raheem Cornwall comes out now to face his first delivery. And Ward, in the meantime, he goes up to 19. Cornwall circles and waits for Heiliger. He comes in out the bowl to him. He's just on driving, easy like Sunday morning, as we would say, here in Antigua and Barbuda. Gets a easy single.
Yeah, what I will say, Vernon, about this Blackhawks team is they just make things look so easy. You know, they break it down simple, and that's what you get from the best players in the world. Raheem Cornwall, Hayden Walsh Jr., Kareem Magura, all with international experience. They just seem to stick to the plan.
Yeah, it was Ward driving through cover. Pereira will have some running around. He won't get there 4 runs. That's a lovely cricket shot by Ward. Beautiful shot. And when you see a cover drive like that, you really have to smile. That's got in good position and lean into it. And the score rushes up to 119 for 3. The defending champions on the go here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground in the first semi-final.
Well, a very handy replacement when you lose Jamar Hamilton to bring in someone like Terrence Ward, who for his all-round abilities is well known across the region. Exactly for this reason, Vernon, because of the fact that he can play in innings like this, gotta hurry. But I think he gets there in the end.
Here is a little hesitation between Cornwall and Ward. The stumps were broken at the non-striker's end, but as Nichols said, Ward got in quite easily. Played national football for St. Kitts and Nevis, Terrence Ward, and also is from the community of St. Paul's in St. Kitts. 120 for 3, 14 overs bowled in this contest.
Yeah, just a question for you, Vernon. As someone that knows the nature of this tournament, you know, it's been played for a number of years now. I think this year it's really evolved, and I'm excited to see what the product can become in the coming years, you know, after recovering from the pandemic. But looking at the Blackhawks especially, I know we're spending a lot of time on them, but they're the best team in this tournament by a long way. I asked Raheem Cornwall at the toss, you know, whether there's any concern the fact that now it's going to be 4 out of 4 games that they batted first. You go into a final against either Bethesda Golden Eagles or Jennings Tigers, and if you have to bowl first in that one, do you think there will be any concern, or is there enough experience to deal with whatever situation? He wasn't too concerned, but from an onlooker's perspective, someone that knows the cricket, your take.
We break for a while. Descartes back of the length delivery to Terrence Ward, and in the end Descartes playing some fancy football tricks there, flicking the ball back onto the non-striker's end and giving away a single. This is considered to be a final, Descartes, and so you don't need to give away runs. In fact, you should be making Liberta fight for all of the runs. Just to answer your question, Nicole, if on paper, if you look at the teams in this competition, it doesn't matter whether Liberta bat or bowl first. Somebody you're going to really have to place a blinder to be able to stop them, and that's just my view from looking at this tournament here. Here is Raheem Cornwall just coming back and across and looking to punch it past his opposite captain, Booney. And the score in the meantime remains on 121 for 3, over number 15 being start. Jennings just coming in and having a look. Can't keep your eyes off Jennings. They've got a good team. Paul Miller, Orlando Peters, Matthew Miller and company. Here's a slow delivery here. Cornwall not looking at the ball there. Is just trying to have a heave at it rather than have a look there. Doesn't look himself as compared to the last game, Nickel. Don't know if he's carrying a slight injury. I was looking at his body language going out. Didn't seem warm up either today. I was here a little bit early, so I don't know if he's maybe nursing a maybe slight injury, and as you rightly said, maybe just trying to conserve his energy. Cornwall, 121 for 3. Descartes in out the ball to Cornwall. Cornwall hits a no ball down to Shane Burton, and so we'll have a free hit. Just find that Descartes trying too many things here.
Well, yeah, I think that's been the story of all the bowlers from the Spartans. Just haven't been able to find that consistency right from the onset in that initial power play. And I mean, anytime you allow the openers, those two openers, Yuri Smith, Kofi James, they've just, I think that's what's really destroyed teams and caused destruction because of the start that they've been able to get inside that power play. So I just think from the onset, the plans have been a bit wayward. They've searched a bit too much, and that's been a problem for them.
On drive down the ground, but one has to give credit to the man who's feeling the ball right now, Nickel. Shane Burton, 3 overs, no maidens, 10 runs, 2 wickets. He's really bowled well, and Amali Heiliger, who's coming 1 over, no maiden, 8 runs, 1 wicket. Despite that, when you look at the figures from Richie Thomas, 2 overs, no maidens, 24 runs, no wicket. Dean Williams, 2 overs, no maidens, 21 runs, no wicket. And the captain, 4 overs, no maidens, 35 runs, no wicket. Descartes into bowl to Cornwall. Good pitched up delivery. He had to come down on it. Good dot ball.
And just to my point, Vernon, I think that's what separated this Blackhawks team from others in this tournament. Yes, they have the names, but I just think it's the simplicity at which they play the cricket with, very animated, very together in the field. And when I look around at some of the other teams, it just obviously a very tough ask coming into such a short tournament, only 3 group stage games. But I think you can already see the experience of playing with each other for a long time from this Blackhawks team.
Here is Cornwall back and just using the pace here and just spanking that down to the boundary for 4. He had room. And as we continue to talk about Descartes just trying too many things here on this outing. In the meantime, the score goes up to 128 for 3 at the end of over number 15. Nickel.
Yeah, uncharacteristic, you could say, from the big man, Raheem Cornwall. But just use the pace. Not much there from Descartes in terms of that pace, but was able to open the face and find that vacant point region. And just a phenomenal player, Raheem Cornwall. He has been a phenomenal servant to this Liberta Blackhawks team for a number of years. That 50 he got in the last game, such a crucial knock to get them past 150 against the Bethesda Golden Eagles. Vernon, had they lost that game, you never know how things could have unfolded. But they made sure they won that game, remained unbeaten in the group stages, and now in this semi-final won because they've topped the group.
Heiliger with another gentle delivery, half volley pitched up to Terrence Ward, who's just leaning into it and just stroking it out to the sweeper on the offside. Pereira coming around, the under 19 player. You're only able to get 1. Don't think you're going to see Raheem Cornwall running too many twos. Already put his left hand up to Terrence Ward to say, I'm not interested. 129 for 3, into over number 16. This is going to be the happy hour coming up soon. Heiliger in out the bowl to Cornwall. Cornwall squared up. And Descartes caught napping there. And would be advised to try to get behind the stump. It looked as if he wasn't expecting the return there. Heiliger.
Well, I think it's good bowling, though, in terms of the planning from this Spartans team to Cornwall. They want to bowl wide outside the stump. So you have a bit of a chess match, some mind games going on, because Cornwall's actually coming across to get in line with that ball. But they've got the field set well in terms of the offside.
Heiliger into bowl to Ward. Ward driving through the offside 4 more. That's a beautiful shot. Beautiful shot by Ward. He pitched up and he just leaned into that. Good balance. Leading with the head on the shoulders and hit to the line. Another boundary to Ward. The score in the meantime goes up to 134 for 3. And the defending champions will be thinking about getting 200. Their high score so far has been 199. They want to go past that today. Can they? Is the big question being asked. Heiliger. To Ward. In out the bowl to Ward. Down the onside tickle. Past Jem Benjamin. Down to the boundary for 4.
Well, innovative stuff from Terrence Ward. This is the type of player he is. This is why he's played and succeeded for the Leeward Islands majorly in the white ball formats. But because of this all-round ability, adaptability as well, to come up in the order, today at number 4 and be able to play an innings of this caliber. It takes pressure off of Raheem Cornwall, off of Hayden Walsh Jr. as well, who's still to come.
138 for 3. Heiliger starting well and then just straying down the onside there. It's like a tickle. Good balance there by Terrence Ward. He too also had a stint in England last year. Would have grown in confidence with that. Heiliger in out the boat to Terrence Ward. Wide delivery. And the umpire, Bertil Baltimore, does signal wide. The score in the meantime goes up to 139 for 3. What is going to be important, Nickel, is how Rising Sun Spartan bowlers complete this process in the final, I would say, 4 overs.
Well, they've got to be very careful because you don't want to be chasing anything north of 180, which I think at this stage is looking very on.
Here is Ward back and punching that 4 more. That's a lovely shot. Heiliger all over the place here. He's down the onside. He's out. He's wide at the off stump. And the class of Terrence Ward is going to put away that any day. He doesn't have the pace to be able to worry at Terrence Ward. And a boundary to Ward. In the meantime, the score goes up to 143 for 3.
Tremendous manipulation of the field from Terrence Ward. First delivery went inside out through extra cover, then got one down the leg side, was able to flick it with fine leg up in the circle, and now bowler runs out of options, really tries to go wide outside the stumps and make him reach, but just way too short, enough time on it, and Ward easily just dispatches that. 3 boundaries in the over, turned out to be a massive one, and that run rate going closer to 10. Very worrying times for the Spartans.
Heiliger pitched up. Ward is going. It's going to be up. Oh, big save there by the field at long on. And Ward and Cornwall just ball watching. In fact, it's gone for 6. So the fielder there, from our advantage point, I thought that he saved it. But the umpire, Bertil Baltimore, signaled 6. So INET maximum carries the score to 149 for 3.
Yeah, valiant effort at long on. But the power of Ward just had enough on it to carry it over the rope. And what a big over that was for the Blackhawks. Now 149, still 4 overs remaining in this. And you look at this bowling attack for the Blackhawks will be very challenging. Even at this score at the moment, we saw Bethesda, in the last game of those group stages, struggle to get past 100. 99 in their 20 overs. Just snuck in by net run rate.
Spin.
Yeah, just one seamer in this.
Landeveld. So they got some options, and so they're going to be bugging you down with those spins. You got Cornwall, you now have Ward. Ward is coming into the line today. Today you got young Kofi James, you got Kareem Gore, you got Hayden Walsh Jr. You still had even young Wilden Cornwall, the son of Wilden Cornwall. 149 for 3. Descartes starts. He's been all over the shop. Not for 29. He comes in out the boat to Cornwall. Cornwall scoops this one in the air. Is somebody going to take this one? Who's going to take this one? No. He takes it?
He puts it down. The captain, Isaiah Bruni. Always going to be difficult. Just swing. But that's been another area where they've struggled tonight. The Rising Sun Spartans. Fielding has been a big problem. And you actually touched on it when it first came on, Vernon, in terms of that's what's also helped this Blackhawks team to be so different, so unique, but so successful. That fielding element. I mean, Kareem Gore, he's usually called the best fielder in the ICC Americas division. Of course, for the USA, always at point in those critical positions. Really good athletic fielder. He's taken some blinders I've seen live. Amazing fielder.
150 in the meantime comes up for the defending champions, PIC Liberta Blackhawks. Cornwall now just saying to Descartes, really should have been hitting that out of the ground here. Booney looking all around, just never got anywhere close to that, and that would have been an important wicket to be able to come up with a Cornwall at that time. 150 for 3. Descartes. We're in the number 5. Is going to move in now to bowl to Terrence Ward. Is up now, bowls to Ward. Ward is driving, but he can't beat Descartes.
And Vernon, you mentioned in terms of the addition of Terrence Ward, what it means for this bowling lineup. Just another weapon in the arsenal for the Blackhawks. You've got the off spin, you've got the left arm quicker spin of Kareem Gore, which is so effective in the power play, the wrist spin of Hayden Walsh. It's just so many different options that Cornwall can go to.
Full toss, Ward driving down the ground. Shaquan Hewlett comes off the boundary way in the number 9. In the meantime, the score goes up to 151 for 3. Ward to 46. Now brings Cornwall, the captain, into strike. 151 for 3. Descartes turns from the major center and is going to move in now nicely to bowl to Cornwall, into bowl to Cornwall. Cornwall driving down the ground. Shaquan Hewlett can't get there, hits the rope, 4 runs. Ferociously hit back on the ground, good, positive, and Cornwall come back. There's no question about it. He just, once he applies himself, he knows what he has to do, and the score goes up to 155 for 3. 155 for 3. Let's say good afternoon to my colleague Terry LaRaja. Cornwall to 12, Terrence Ward 46 from 31 balls, 44 minutes at the crease, 6 fours and 1 INET maximum. Descartes is going to move in nicely to bowl to Raheem Cornwall, into bowl to him. Cornwall is tugging this one past the short mid-wicket fielder and down to the boundary for 4. Shane Burton can't get there. A boundary to Cornwall. 159 in the meantime for 3. It's all happening here in the first semi-final of the 2022 Cool and Smooth Explosion. They're playing for 22,000 EC dollars. That's what they're playing for. 22,000 EC dollars. And that's a big ask. Who will win this $22,000? That's the big question that is going to be asked anywhere around. Break for a little while. Let's see what's going to be happening. Who's coming? Looks like it's going to be Descartes. Descartes moving in nicely. He's going to move in now to bowl to Cornwall. He's in now to bowl to Cornwall. Short delivery. And Cornwall's just saying, I just should have been able to get my uppercut up onto that and just play it down to third man. End of over number 17. End of over number 17. 159 for 3. 10 runs off the over. And it is almost a happy hunting ground as we speak here. 159 for 3. It's all happening here at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, the home of Cricket West Indies. 159 for 3. Who's coming back? Just give you an idea in terms of the bowling figures. Looks like Richie Thomas is going to come back and bowl. So Richie Thomas, 2 overs, no maidens, 24 runs, no wicket. Dean Williams, 2 overs, no maidens, 21 runs, no wicket. Shane Burton, 3 overs, no maidens, 10 runs, 2 wickets. Isaac Bruni, 4 overs, no maidens, 35 runs, no wicket. Shadrach Descartes, 4 overs, no maidens, 39 runs, no wickets. And Amali Heiliger, 2 overs, no maidens, 29 runs, 1 wicket. The wickets to fall so far has been Kofi James, LBW to Shane Burton for 19. Karima Gore caught GM Benjamin, bowl Shane Burton without scoring. And Huey Smith caught Shadrach Descartes, bowl Amari Halliger for 69. Here goes Richie Thomas in now to bowl to Ward. Ward back and just pulling this one away. Down to the boundary for 4. 50 to Terrence Ward. What a knock. A badly lined delivery. And Ward gets 50 of 32 balls. With 7 fours and 1 6. Terrence Ward coming in for his first game of the Cool and Smooth T20 action. Gets 50 here in the first semi-final. This is what happens when big players are contracted. Thomas to bow to Ward. Ward flashing and saying to himself, I should have put that one away down the backward point. I think he was looking for power. Lost his shape, more or less. 163. 163 for 3. Richie Thomas into bowl to Ward. Ward whipping that beautifully. Will have the legs to go into the boundary for 4, will it? No. Good work there by the young man. Another under 19 player. Swooping around there and cutting that one off. Shamar Pereira. So they got the 2 youngsters prowling the boundary. 165 for 3. Thomas into bowl to Ward. Ward driving sweetly out into the offside. Picking up an easy single. Bruni comes off the boundary and just lobs the return to GM Benjamin. He now brings the captain Cornwall into strike. And in the meantime, the score goes up to 166 for 3. Just to let you know that the Leeward Islands Hurricanes are in Antigua and Barbuda. And we'll have a practice game starting on Sunday at the Police Cricket Ground. Cornwall going. Another INET maximum. 6 to Cornwall. That's a big hit. Middle and leg, no pace. And Cornwall just whipping that away. He's a very big, strong guy. And he just eased that up. Didn't really go full extension through with it. But he had enough to go close to the Cricket West Indies offices, executive offices here. Inet 6 to Cornwall. The score in the meantime goes up to 172 for 3. Will Cornwall tee off here? That's the big question. Gotta wait and see what's going to be happening. And if he does, he could very well take Liberta over that 200 mark, which is going to be key. So let's look at the field placing in the meantime. It's a 5-4 field, is it? Yes. Shane Burton is now coming around to the short third man, sweep on the offside, cover. Here's Cornwall again, going for another one. Hewlett won't get there, 4 more. So, Richie Thomas all over the shop. Over completed, 18 overs bowled. And in the meantime, the score rushes up to 176 for 3. As I said, good afternoon to my colleague who's wearing an earring today, Terry Laraja.
Good afternoon, Vernon. I've actually had this earring for about the last 25 years or so, but you'd be amazed how many people say that to me. You got your earring on today.
And you look like a young boy with it.
I wish I felt like one.
But you're young, you're alive.
Well,
what
true.
are you complaining about? Don't talk about you wish.
I'm not
Come
complaining.
on, you need to take that back. Give gratitude, Terry Laraja. Come on, my buddy. 176 for 3. Are you in a mood to bet today?
On this track, why not?
Okay, all right.
Bat long.
What do you think will be the pass score here? What do you think?
176, and we had 18-2 over. Well, I'm not going to say 200 this time. I'll say
205. He doesn't like to engage me. I don't understand at all. He's my colleague. We got 12 deliveries. I just gave him a prediction, and he's hesitating. 205.
All right.
Here comes Shane Burton to move in now, to bow to Terrence Ward, into bow to Ward. Ward gets a slow cutter and can't score and defends the delivery. 11 legal deliveries expected to go. 176 for 3. Cornwall is saying to Burton, you wait until when I go down there. I'm going to deal with you.
He's bowled well, though.
He has.
2%.
He's certainly bowled well. So, and before this, his 3 overs before would, of course, 10 runs for 2 wickets. 2 important wickets. Slow ball whipped away. Lucky to get away with that one there. But I know he was trying to do trying something different because Ward was moving around in the crease. So let's see what sort of mood Rakeem Cornwall is in. 177 for 3.
I think this will travel, though, Vernon.
You think so?
I think so.
Nah.
Nothing to lose.
No, Shane Burton is kind of experienced enough, so I don't think he's going to go into the area. In fact, I think he will try and bowl Cornwall a short ball, if anything. There's a pin for a leg before, yeah. And Cornwall playing across the line of the ball there rather than looking to go straight. Had he gone straight, I think that would have gone straight over long on for 6. Mm-hmm. His head sort of moved because he was looking into the mid-wicket area. Score remains on 177 for 3. 177 for 3. It's all happening here. Cornwall is 26. Ward is 53. 4 4s and 1 6. Rakeem Cornwall. Shane Burton in now to bowl to Cornwall. Cornwall is driving in the air. Who's going to take this? Who wants it? Who wants this catch? Tony drops it. I will not believe that. But that's what happens on a night when you have bowled 3 overs for 41 runs, Richie Thomas. He dropped an easy catch.
Yeah, confidence down, and can't blame the lights either at the moment.
There are no lights.
No lights, and the sun's behind him.
There are no lights. Shane Burton disappointed. That would have really put his figures nicely. And he wanted to get the wicket of Cornwall. Ward comes in to strike. Burton in now to bowl to Ward. Full toss. Hit inside out over cover. Will it have the legs to go? It does. 4 runs to Terrence Ward. And Shane Burton just losing way. Maybe still thinking about the drop catch.
Definitely. But well played by Terrence Ward, though. It was a slow ball. He advanced and he waited. Took his time and timed it beautifully. Split the gap over extra cover into the boundary for 4, 182 for 3.
182 for 3. And we still have one. We expected to have one legal delivery here. Shane Burton is certainly showing his emotions. He's upset. Played for Angola, played for Antigua and Barbuda, played for the Leeward Islands, in fact, at the professional level. Burton in out the boat to watch short delivery. Watt is on top of that and pulling that one. Will he come up with that one? No, it's falling to no man's land. And they're thinking about 2. Again, hesitation between Ward and Cornwall. He gets back into the area there. So the end of over number 19. 19. The score is 183 for 3. 1 over to go.
Yeah, I think he was looking to come back there so Big Jimbo could have strike for the last over. But sensible in going back there, Vernon, because I don't think Cornwall would have made it. The throw coming into the bowling crease. Good to see a lot of youngsters in the crowd, a small crowd at the moment. I'm sure that will build for our second match tonight, but a lot of youngsters out and about.
And just to let you know that the coverage comes to you, compliments of made possible by the Community Sports Network, CSN, a subsidiary of the Parish League, with their studios being located in High Street. So you can follow them on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, on CTV Channel 8 here in Antigua and Barbuda and in Montserrat. And we say good afternoon to all the folks who are listening to us also on Platinum FM 97.9, your sports station. Just feel very honored to be joined here by Terry Laraja from ABS Radio, a double combination. We also had Nickel, visiting commentator. Who's this? Dean Williams comes in out the bowl to Ward. Ward is playing to get fancy. This is what I hate. Just stand up and play a proper cricket shot. I hate this, Terry. You know this gets me annoyed.
Definitely. And I agree with you, Vernon. If he stood up and played that properly, he could have whipped it through the mid-wicket area. Plenty of gaps in the leg side. You may feel honored, but I feel privileged sitting next to you.
Thank you.
But you're in your summer.
183 for 3. Ward is driving. Square for 4.
Wrong foot at the backward point.
Shane Burton still worrying about the drop catch, but he has to understand you still have a game. You're playing a cricket game. That's what happens. Life goes on. You can't be worrying about that. 187 for 3. This is a problem sometimes I have with players. You take on things so much. That's gone like a long time ago.
Exactly.
Life is too short to be worrying about the drop catch.
Definitely.
I sure he's drop catches off of
other people. Yeah.
Come on. 187 for 3. Williams into Ward. Ward is just quietly just coming forward. Really didn't go too hard. He wanted to give Cornwall the strike. In the meantime, the score goes up to 188. Cornwall will have 4 deliveries. How will Dean Williams bowl to Cornwall will be another interesting conversation.
He needs to keep it tight, that's for sure, because obviously Cornwall will be on the go. Just the 3 legitimate deliveries left in the innings. Already 188 on the board, so Big Jimbo will be eyeing at 200.
184 after being 65 without loss. Cornwall settles and waits for Dean Williams, the veteran. Cornwall is going. Caught.
Got him this time.
Shaquan Hewlett takes a comfortable catch in the mid-wicket area, and Cornwall more or less dipping, didn't go through with it. And good delivery from Dean Williams. Lucky to get away with that one. Kadim Phillip walks out. In the meantime, 188 for 4. Cornwall walks back. Caught Shaquan Hewlett. Bowled Dean Williams.
Yeah, he'd be a bit disappointed with that. Will Cornwall, captain of Liberta Blackhawks, he got the delivery that he was looking for. It was full, and it just mistimed it, hitting the inner portion of the bat, and the deep mid-wicket fielder out on the boundary. Hewlett made no mistake. So Cornwall gone, 4th wicket down, 188 for 4, 2 balls to go.
2 balls to go. Terry looks like he will win his super bet tonight. Might have to get him a current roll, so I'll have to maybe run downstairs and get that sorted out and bring it back for Terry. I don't want to be owing Terry at all. So I did say 205. He didn't tell me a score, but more likely, I'll still pay him his current roll.
As long as it's less than 205.
Yeah, it's got him driving in the air. Somebody will likely look to take this one. No. Got him really pace off delivery there from Dean Williams. And he was only able to muster and get a single. In the meantime, the score goes up to 189 for 4. 189 for 4.
Williams has bowled this last over well.
He has.
Strict them.
Change of pace.
Mm-hmm.
Here goes the big man himself, Dean Williams, the veteran. He's been around for a while. He's a legend. He comes in out the bowl to Terrence Ward. Driving in the air. Will it have the legs to go? It does. Down to the boundary. In fact, it's gone.
Yep.
Oh,
all the way off the last ball.
Terry is in trouble.
195.
That's the innings.
That's it. 195 for 4. They finish on, and what a way to finish.
What a way to finish.
Takes Terrence Ward up to 70 not out.
So, it's all happening here. Happening fast and furious, as we would say. The Liberta Blackhawks, inserted by Rising Sun Spartan, they end their 20 overs on 195 for 4. 195 for 4. And when big players turn up, then you know what's going to be happening. They turn up in grand style, and they answer the call in a very big way.
They certainly do, and that's going to take some chasing by Rising Sun Spartans. And, of course, the Liberta Blackhawks have the initiative going into the break. Coming out and looking to defend 196 for a spot in the Cool and Smooth T20 Explosion 2022 edition grand final, which of course will come up tomorrow evening. Huge match that will be.
Yeah, so Terry, I'm just waiting for our score card to come up, and once that comes up, we could be able to give our listeners and viewers an opportunity in terms of what's happening. But just to let you know that Mr. Isaiah Bruni, he called right, but instead insisted that he was going to send in the Liberta Blackhawks team, something which we were discussing with Nickel, who found it sort of strange that they had gone down that road. But it's history now as we speak, so they end on 195, 12 runs off the last over, 195 for 4. Cornwall in the end coming back in the hut there. We're just about getting our scoreboard sorted out. We get ourselves pumped and ready to go.
It was a strange decision, Vernon, especially seeing that that's been their strength throughout the tournament. Liberta Blackhawks batting first, setting very, very challenging totals, and the same thing has happened here at Coolidge this afternoon, where Bruni thought, get a couple of early wickets, put some pressure on them, might be able to restrict them to something that they can chase. But not saying they can't chase 196, but it will be a tall order.
Yeah, it certainly will be. Just to let you know that before this championship, you would have had some 10 half centuries. Kofi James leading the way with 77. And Kofi James plays for the PIC Insurance Blackhawks Liberta team. 77 against New Winchops. 42 balls, 55 minutes, 4 fours and 6 sixes. His first half century was 69 against Pigots. 42 balls, 55 minutes, 9 fours and 2 sixes. We also had 2 half centuries from Casey Carty. His first playing for All Saints, 65 against Jennings. He would have had a situation there. Coming up in terms of what's going on. Give you some. You can go to the thought process very quickly, Terry.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the scoreboard to refresh. But I can tell you that for PIC Blackhawks, who was sent in to bat, tonight against the Rising Sun Spartans in this all-important semi-final clash. Yuri Smith was caught. Shadrach Descarte bowled O'Malley Hallinger for 69. That 69 came off 47 balls and included 8 fours and 1 6. Coffee James was LBW, bowled Shane Burton for 19. Kareem Agor, Court Benjamin, bowled Shane Burton for 0. Terence Ward remained not out on 70. And Phillip was 1 not out. They got to 195 for 4. Let's check Cornwall's score. He was 27. Did he add to that? I don't think he made anything off the last over, did he?
I don't think he did.
No.
But we're just going to quickly go through the half centuries, because we had 2 half centuries today. One from Terence Ward and also one from Yuri Smith. I thought Yuri Smith should have got 100. 69, 47 balls, 58 minutes, 8 fours and 1 6. And Terence Ward batted beautifully. No doubt about that. But the half centuries before, we were talking, just before I got that break, we had Kofi James, 69 for Liberta versus Pigots, 42 balls, 55 minutes, 9 fours and 2 6s. And then he got a second half century, 77 versus New Wintrops, 42 balls, 55 minutes, 4 fours and 6 6s. Then we had Casey Carty, who scored 66 in a losing effort in the last game against Empire Nation, 51 balls, 82 minutes, 6 fours, 1 6. And his first half century was against Jennings, 44 balls, 60 minutes, 4 fours and 4 6s. We also had Kareem Agor, 58 not out, 29 balls, 34 minutes, 8 fours, 3 INET 6s. Darren Benter, 51 not out, 36 balls, 45 minutes, 9 fours. Naeem Young for Caribbean Union Bank Bethesda, we'll see him a little later, 41 balls, 44 minutes, 6 fours and 3 6s. Then we had Yuri Smith, who scored a second half century today, 51 against New Winchops, 45 balls, 59 minutes, 6 fours, 1 6. Raheem Cornwall, 58, 34 balls, 36 minutes, 2 fours, 6 INET maximums versus Bethesda. And George Munsey, who we're going to see later this evening for Jennings, 57, 39 balls, 49 minutes, 9 fours, 1 6. And Terry, the bowling figures, you'll have to say that Shane Burton really was the man of the period of the day. 4 overs, no maiden, 17 runs, 2 wickets. And repeat that. Shane Burton, 4 overs, no maiden, 17 runs, 2 wickets. Richie Thomas, 3 overs, no maidens, 41 runs, no wicket. Dean Williams, 2 overs, no maidens, 21 runs, no wicket. Isaac Booney, the captain, 4 overs, no maidens, 35 runs, no wicket. Shadrach Descarte, 4 overs, no maidens, 39 runs and no wicket. So all in all, I think the contest is going to be a keen one, Terry. A lot of runs.
A lot of runs
to get.
A lot of runs, but a good batting pitch as always here at Coolidge. And if they can get away to a start, who knows? They could still have an opportunity to knock these runs off. But of course, very experienced and strong Liberta Blackhawks team. They've got plenty of bowling options in the side, so they'll be very, very confident that they can remain undefeated and go through to tomorrow's final. But well bowled to Shane Burton in a score of 195 for 4 to pick up 2 for 17 off your 4 overs. Should have been 3. Excellent bowling.
Very excellent bowling. And we just want to be able to just give major credit to the umpires so far who have participated in this tournament to date. Bernard Joseph, Bertil Baltimore, Leslie Reefer Jr. from Barbados, Felix O'Geese, Donald Shekels, Calvin Thomas. The match referees in Austin Richards Sr. and Van Roy Burns. And impressive so far bowling from young Nathan Edwards, 17 years old from St. Martin, Empire Nation, 4 overs, no maidens, 35 runs, no wicket. And one has to give credit to the sponsors who've made this tournament possible so far for the Cool and Smooth T20 Explosion: Pineapple Beach Club, Supreme Security, Kennedy's Club Limited, Stonewall Reloaded, Antigua and Barbuda Cricket Association, Images Design, Signs and Impressions, Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority, St. John's Development Corporation, Antigua and Barbuda Port Authority, Hadid Motors, Tropical Shipping, Cricket West Indies, Antigua and Barbuda Festivals Commission, Global Bank of Commerce, and most of all, APOA and INET. Remember, INET, they're having a street fair today, So you need to be able to go and check them out. Terry, we are appealing to the crowd. You're listening to Platinum FM 97.9. If you're following also the folks on the Community Sports Network on their YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, and if you're looking on CTV Channel 8, come on out and support Cool and Smooth. Come on out and support Antigua Cricket, Leewards Cricket, West Indies Cricket. And we want to be able to make sure we get a couple of youngsters from this championship into the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots and also into the St. Lucia teams or maybe any other franchise for the CPL. It's all happening here. Discussions taking place in terms of the Liberta team having a conversation. Terry, you will start the ball by ball, and I'll be able to take a break and maybe just share the spotlight with you. Wilden Cornwall, who is one of the coaches, in fact the manager and assistant coach for the Leeward Islands Hurricane franchise, to let you know that there's a 2-day practice game coming up on Sunday, Monday. That's going to be played at the Police Ground. So you got to be able to make sure you check that out. Police Ground, Leeward Islands Hurricane practice game. And then Wednesday, Thursday, second game will be played in Liberta. And then the final, more or less, game, more or less a one-day game, more or less 90 overs, will be played on Saturday the 14th at the Police Ground.
Okay, but I was just looking though, Vernon, because the final round of Parish League matches are played on Sunday, and I'm pretty sure, Police are playing Willikies at Police.
We got that wrapped up, man. That is now moved to Pigots.
Okay, there we go. Things move very quickly around here.
After all, you have to understand what's happening, man. Everything is supposed to become easy. You're
supposed to be. Yeah, it just goes on.
But you just make it look easy. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not as easy as how it looks. You got to be able to execute it.
True. And talking about executions, who we got out in the batting? You have the team sheet there?
No, well, we have to wait.
We have to wait.
Because you might get a team sheet and then you see some changes. But Rising Sun Spartans seem not to be able to find their opening batters as yet. So let's wait and see who's going to be coming out.
It looks like a left and right hand combination.
It looks? That's what you're seeing?
I think so.
Okay. So, folks,
they're going to
need Rising Sun Spartans are going to need 196. 196. Jim Benjamin, I can tell you, he's starting. So that will be a good one for you. I know for sure that's the wicketkeeper, and he's a busy player. So we got to look at and see in terms of what's going to be happening. So let's look and see what is going to be happening.
Benjamin and Henry.
Yeah, Junior Henry.
The bowling is Landerford.
So
all right,
it's over to you, my brother.
Okay. In blazing sunshine.
Just want to say thanks for joining me, and we have Flagman, who's here with the Cool and Smooth flag.
Of course. I don't think he ever goes home, does he? But anyway, it's Landerford to come in to Benjamin, and that one is wide down the leg side, single wide by umpire Baltimore. So Rising Sun Spartans on the board, 1 for none.
You're my colleague, right? Bernard Joseph.
Bernard Joseph
is the standing umpire.
Oh, sorry, Bernard, my correction. Baltimore's over there, is it? They moved. After that wide delivery, Landerford is just checking his run up again. Make sure everything is correct and moving his marker back a touch by the look of it. So the shadows lengthen here at Coolidge. Crowd still coming in, still picking up. Of course, it's semi-finals night as Landerford into a Benjamin again, and that one has clipped nicely behind square down towards the boundary. The fine leg's coming round, can't stop it. That's 4 runs. Good confidence start there by young Benjamin. He moves on to 4, and the score 5 without loss. Of course, they're chasing 196 Rising Sun Spartans after Liberta being sent in. Scored 195 for 4. Brilliant half century to Yuri Smith at the top of the order. And also 70 not out to Terence Ward. Really setting up that innings for the defending champions as Landford is on his way again into Benjamin. This ball is hit high in the air. Fielder under it. He stumbles and it falls out of his reach. Well, that went high in the air. Was a nothing shot really there by Benjamin. And the fielder there at mid-on, who was inside the circle, as he was looking over his shoulder, just stumbled and fell out of his reach. So another 2 to Benjamin, taking the score up to 7 without loss. We're in the first over of Rising Sun Spartans chase. It looks like Landford is bringing a slipping. Philip looks like moving to a first slip as he's in again to Benjamin, and that was clipped nicely once again off his legs down to fine leg. The fielder does the fielding, and they take a comfortable single that moves Benjamin on to 7. And the score 8 without loss in this semi-final match of the Cool and Smooth T20 Explosion for 2022 between the defending champions Liberta Blackhawks and the Rising Sun Spartans. Spartans need 196 to cause what would be a huge upset here, as Henry, the right-hander, is on strike now to Landford, and Landford is with him now, and that one he's trying to pull a short delivery, giving himself a chance to have a look. Misses, goes through to the keeper, and there is no run. Score remains on 8 without loss in over number 1.
Let's look at that delivery. He's nowhere in position. The ball is on the top of the 4th stump. So if you want to be able to try to see if you can pull a ball into the onside, it'd be better standing up to put the ball up on the offside.
Landford in again to Henry, and this time he's looking to cut a ball. He misses. Through to the keeper once again, and no run. Yes, some of these batsmen, Vernon, do very well to just give themselves a bit of time. They got 20, especially opening batsmen, they got 20 overs, not 20 minutes. And a 14 again to Henry, and Henry's driving that firmly through the covers down to the boundary for 4. Good shot to end the over. And at the end of the first over, Rising Sun Spartans 12 without loss. Benjamin on 7, Henry on 4.
And if there's anything to shout about, Liberta were 9 without loss.
Well, there you go, they're in front. If they could maintain their current run rate at 12 and over, they'll win the match. But of course, a long, long way to go, chasing 196 for victory. But 12 off the first over. Excellent start. What Rising Sun would have been looking for or hoping for. And with, not surprisingly, it looks like we're going to have spin from the northern end. A lot of spinning options in the Liberta Blackhawks setup.
And in case you just joined the commentary and you just joined Terry Larajo, just to let you know that the PIC Liberta Insurance Blackhawks, they reach 195 for 4. Terrence Ward top scoring with 70, 43 balls, 60 minutes, 9 fours and 2 INET maximums. And Yuri Smith 69, 47 balls, 58 minutes, 8 fours and 1 INET maximum. Cornwall 27, Kofi James 19, Karim Mago North and Karim Phillip not out on 1. The bowling options was the man himself, Shane Burton, 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 17. Kofi James starting around the wicket. Terry.
Yes, coming around the wicket to the left-handed Benjamin. And he's set down. So James into Benjamin, and that one is fired in. Peels off the outside edge of the bat to the short third man, and there is no run. So short third man, backward point, cover and mid-off on the onside. It's defensively played by Benjamin onto the offside. No run. Score remains 12 without loss. as James looking for a breakthrough. He's just moved his backward point in a few yards closer to the bat. So forward in defense is Benjamin. Keeper does the fielding on the offside, and there's no run. Benjamin's on 7, Henry 4, 12 without loss. We're in the second over. Spartans looking for 196 for victory. That one's fired in again, down the leg side. You get touched to it, it's rolled into the boundary, went on the umpire, 4 wides. Ill-directed that time by Coffee James. 4 more to Rising Sun Spartans, takes them up to 17 without loss, and we're in over number 2.
So badly line delivery there by Kofi James, and I still could never understand why the off spinner would want to be bowling around the wicket, especially to a left-hander. But that's a debate that I've been having for some time, and somebody tell me I must move with the times.
Well, I'm with you. I don't get it either. James into Benjamin, and that's better directed delivery. Looked to cut too close to him, through to the keeper, no run.
You could understand why Benjamin wants to play that shot still. If they have almost everybody in that area, they have 3 fielders in that area, which means that they're trying to close him off. He has to look for another option.
And that one peels off the outside edge again. Short third man does the fielding, and there's no run. So not about over this by James, just the 1 wide delivery. Cost him 4 wides. That one's turned nicely into the onside backward of square. Fielder coming off the boundary. They think about 2, but they don't take it. And that completes the over. So at the end of the second over, Rising Sun Spartans looking for 196 for victory. 18 without loss. Benjamin is on 8, and Henry is on 4.
Well, I'll say to you, at the point in time, Liberta were 19 without loss.
So we got a game on at the moment.
Oh, we do have a game on. Don't know how long it will last, but we do have a game on. Yeah,
It's the tempo, though, isn't it?
yeah, tempo. But
Springs, if they can keep it going nicely. And,
I don't know how
wickets
deep,
in hand.
I don't know how deep Rising Sun Spartan batting is.
True.
That that is really my major concern, and I'm looking at this from a context of looking at the people on paper. Shadrach Descartes is really not shown that he's quite capable of scoring runs here, but we never know.
Landorford starts with a wide, and it comes off the keeper's pads and flies down to third man, so they take the extra run. So another 2 to the total, takes them on to 20 without loss.
I wanted to talk a little bit, Terry, about the keepers. Now, I don't know if anybody has been paying attention. Once you're playing at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, especially where from the CIO end where the keeper is, you need to be able to take a step up because the ball tends to die on you, and you realize that would not have been the first time that the ball would have gone through low to Thomas, and he's still standing back in almost like in no man's land.
Landorford into Henry, and Henry is driving up to mid-off. No run. The score remains on 20 without loss.
There's no balance at all from Henry, and that is why he's ending up in the situation. You have to be balanced as a batsman, and his hands are just going. Really, he needs to be a little bit more balanced at the crease.
So the shadows lengthen across the ground here at Coolidge. Landorford into Henry, and Henry again. Balance is not there. He's caught in 2 minds there. Shorter delivery wide outside the off stump, and again can only play it up to mid-off. No run. Score remains on 20 without loss. We're in over number 3. Spartans looking for 196 to cause a major upset here. Landorford has other ideas. He's into Henry, and Henry nudges that one to Cornwall in the covers.
That's a long
There's
single,
no run.
Terry.
Was a long signal, wasn't it?
The ball's going to Cornwall. And when I say going to Cornwall, I don't mean, I'm saying Cornwall is on the 30-yard circle. And when he played that ball, and earlier clock, Jim Benjamin was not backing up, said no.
True. Henry was already on the move with the way he played the shot. However, Landerfield into Henry again, and this one is whipped nicely, high, wide, handsome, right over the ropes, deep backward square legs for a maximum.
Inet maximum. And since the last game against All Saints Terry, I kind of noticed him. He likes the ball into that area. A lot of bottom hand. And Cornwall comes across and just trying to say to him, just relax. Don't try anything.
Yeah,
Just
keep it off the legs.
Yeah, keep it simple.
26 without loss. Henry goes on to 10. And just to remind you, this coverage of the Cool and Smooth T20 is made possible by CNN Community Sports Network, a subsidiary of the Parish League with studios located on High Street in town. Live matches can be viewed on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and CTV Channel 8. As Landerford is in, and this one's driven firmly, but straight up to mid-on and a no run. And of course, along with live studio shows, follow the network for all your local sporting action. 26 without loss are the Spartans as we're approaching the end of the third over here. Landerford in again to Henry, and Henry is across and swinging that powerfully, beats the diving short fine leg into the boundary for 4. Good way to finish the over, good over for the Spartans. Rising Sun Spartans have moved on to 30 without loss. After 3 overs, Benjamin is on 8, Henry is on 14. Current run rate 10, so they're right on target at the moment of the first 3 overs running.
Liberta, the defending champions, they were 34 without loss at the end of 3.
So not much in it. Just a matter of 4 runs at this stage. As the sun sets in the west here. Coolidge almost in total shade. As we look out on a picturesque outfield, the rain's really livened up the outfield and the grass as James continues, and that one's stroked firmly back to him by Benjamin. James does his own fielding and there's no run. James in again, quicker delivery, and again Benjamin can only defend it back up the pitch. 30 without loss. We're in over number 4 of this semi-final clash. That one's turned nicely. Backward of square, they think of 2, but they won't get it. So 1 more to Benjamin. He moves on to 9. And Rising Sun Spartans 31 for no wicket, chasing 196 for victory. As the right-handed Benjamin comes on to strike. Coffee James will now go back over the wicket to the right-hander. 5-4 field, 5 on the off for the off spinner. And that's hit firmly, beautifully, straight back past the bowler, into the boundary for 4. Good shot that by Henry.
Now I want to say something, Terry. If you're an off spinner and you're bowling, you expected to feel the ball, right? The ball is coming right back to Kofi. He must have known that he's an off spinner and he's bowling the ball. He's got to be able to feel the ball.
Definitely, especially off your own bowling. Moves Henry under 18, and this one he smacks that high, wide, handsome into the CWI officers for another INET maximum. So Henry is taking up the challenge. He's moved on to 24, and the score is shot up to 41 without loss, and we're in over number 4.
Massive shot there from Henry. Another INET maximum. 3 so far in this contest. Things shaping up nicely here, Terry.
Shaping up very nicely, and I mean, if you were management and captain and everything of Rising Sun Spartans, you say, look, let's have a go. You got absolutely nothing to lose. It's a semi-final. We've done well to reach this far in the competition. A lot of people wouldn't give us a chance against the defending champions, the Liberta Blackhawks, especially after they post a very challenging 195. And we've got nothing to lose, so have a go, and they're certainly having a go in these opening overs as James into Henry again, and this time forward in the defense, pushes out to short extra cover, and there's no run, so that completes over number 4. And after 4 overs, Rising Sun Spartans chasing 196 for victory and a place in the cool and smooth T20 explosion final of 41 without loss, with Henry on 24 and Benjamin on 9. So still just the 4 runs in it. Looks like it might be time for Captain Cornwall. He's had enough of this, Vernon. He'll take matters into his own hands.
It's going to be spin for the rest of the night.
Mm-hmm.
You know for sure. So you could look for Kareem Abdul coming from the CIUN. Cornwall is coming on now from this end. You still have Terrence Ward. So Cornwall has got. I don't think Kofi James really started well in his own little stint there, but you never know. He might have done his job already. Here comes Cornwall around the wicket.
And that one is nudged out into the offside. They go through for a quick single, well run. One more to Benjamin. And that's good batting. Giving the strike to Henry, who's shot out of the blocks with 24 off 12. Benjamin goes on to 10, score 42 without loss. Yeah, Coffee James, his first 2 overs have cost him 17. Cornwall over the wicket to the right-handed Henry. And Henry had a good side of that one. It was tossed up. He got a little inside edge on that, flew past the keeper down the leg side. Short fine leg chases it towards the boundary, and they pick up another 2. So Henry moves on to 26, the score 44 without loss. We're in over number 5. Cornwall fires that in, turned into the onside, but no run.
Just an observation, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the Joshua Thomas positioning. His left foot is behind the middle stump.
Right.
So look at when Cornwall goes over, he's peeping. Look, you see what I'm talking about?
Right, yes. He peeping past the blade of Henry, who scampers through for a quick single. Well run again. Takes him up to 27, 45 without loss. So far it's been an excellent power play for the Rising Sun Spartans. They be well aware, though, they need to keep this momentum going as the left-handed Benjamin comes into strike. Cornwall back round the wicket. Is up to the crease now, and that one's swept but can't beat. Short fine leg. And there is no run. Score remains on 45 without loss. Cornwall looking for breakthrough for the Blackhawks. And that one is just prodded out on the offside to complete the over. No run off the last ball of the over. So we've had 5 overs here of the Rising Sun Spartans reply to Liberta Blackhawks 195 for 4. Rising Sun Spartans are 45 without loss. Henry is on 27 and Benjamin is on 10.
Liberta were 50 without loss.
Neck and neck, well, neck and neck. That's what we want to see. Good, tight, tough contest. As the lights will be coming on pretty soon as the evening takes over here at Coolidge. But a nice warm evening. Come down and enjoy some great, exciting local cricket. If you can't, of course, this coverage is made possible by CNN Community Sports Network, a subsidiary of the Parish League. Studios located on High Street in town. Live matches can be viewed on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and CTV Channel 8. So Kareem Gore is going to take over from James from the northern end, and that ball is defended back to him by Henry. And there is no run. Score remains on 45 for no wicket. And it's the last over of the power play. Gore again, and that one is whipped high over mid-wicket. Beats the long on into the boundary. 4 more to Henry. He's looking good now.
Very strong in that middle and leg stump area once the ball comes in there, because his right hand comes into play. He's a right-hander, and he likes the ball here. I was talking a little bit, Terry, about the the keeper, the Joshua Thomas's left foot. Look where he's left foot. If it's almost outside the off stump, the leg stump.
And
4 more here.
Yeah, cut away through the cover region. 4 more. So back-to-back boundaries for Henry. He shoots up to 35. The 50 is up for Rising Sun Spartans inside the power play. They are 53 without loss after 5.5 overs.
They're believing.
Start. They are. They're definitely, and they have to. Why wouldn't you believe?
They're believing.
Believe you could do it.
They're believing.
Well, you kept saying that there's going to be an upset, so this could be it. Gore in again, and this time Henry disappointed with himself. Couldn't get the cut shot executed the way he wanted to. Rolls out to Phillip in the short cover region. No run. Gore into Henry, and they take a quick single, well-judged single up to mid-off. That takes Henry on to 36, and the score 54 without loss.
At least there's a contest on, and they've made a contest of it so far. Liberta's first 6 overs cost them 64. They're on track here. They're 54, which means they're almost like 10 runs behind, but this over is not over yet by a long shot.
Gore staying over the wicket. The left-hander who swings in beautifully down past the short fine leg, beats the sweeper into the ropes. That's 4 more to complete the over. So the power play is done and dusted, and a very good one for Rising Sun Spartans. They're in pursuit of 196 for victory. They're 58 without loss. Henry is on 36, and Benjamin is on 14.
So the power play has come to an end, and if we look at the comparisons that I was just explaining to Terry, there's 64 without loss Liberta, and we have a difference here now. We have Rising Sun who are 58 without loss. So it's don't want to say even Stevens, but so far it's
neck and neck.
It's a good comeback.
Definitely.
The issue here now is how will Rising Sun Spartan handle the middle overs? That is going to be key.
Definitely. Cornwall drags that down a bit, and it enables Henry to take an easy single through the mid-wicket area to start the 7th over. Henry moves on to 37. Score 59 without loss. As Lego Benjamin comes into strike, he's on 14. Wickets in hand will be the key for Rising Sun. And that's pulled nicely through square leg region for 1. So
don't like the
60 without loss.
Don't like the intensity at all, Terry, from Rakim. Just rolling over his hand.
Yeah, he just seems to be going through the motions,
Yeah,
doesn't he?
I mean, just a little bit more zip. Just pull that thing out. Yeah, you know, it's just you want to see that. I know they feel that, hey, listen, they've got to score into the 96, but, you know, sometimes you just want to just drive that intensity all the way.
Definitely, as he's into Henry again, and that one's tossed up. Henry looking for the drive, peels off the outside edge of the bat into the cover region. The sweeper comes off the fence, and another well-judged 2, though, for Henry. Moves him on to 39, the score up to 62 for 2 in over number 7.
Control of the game so far by these 2 umpires, and Bernard Joseph and Bertil Baltimore has been great so far.
And that's nicely played again through the cover region to the sweeper out on the cover point boundary for a single. Henry looking good. He's up to 40. Score 63 without loss.
If I was Cornwall bowling to Henry, I would be forcing Henry to try and hit straight down the ground rather than look to hit the ball square by Cornwall.
One is a wide down the leg side by Cornwall. He's back around the wicket to the left-handed Benjamin, but losing a bit of direction there. So 1 more to the total, 64 without loss. Cornwall in again to Benjamin, and Benjamin is just tapping this down to short third man, but there's no run there, and that completes the over. So we've had 7 overs of Rising Sun Spartans replying to Liberta Blackhawks 195 for 4. They need 196 to win, and at the moment they're well on track. 64 without loss after 7 overs. Henry is on 40 and Benjamin is on 15.
Well, at that stage, the PIC Liberta Insurance Blackhawks, they were 65 for 2. They would have lost 2 quick wickets, Kareem Agor and also Kofi James. So this is going to be the important period of play here in terms of the middle overs. Kareem Agor, it's going to be interesting. You still got Kadeem Phillips, still got Hayden Walsh Jr., and you still got Terrence Ward, but they got so much, as you would say, ammunition that there is just once they get a wicket, and then you maybe just see a whole different ball game, a little different energy coming out from them. But right now, it's been a good start here by Rising Sun Spartans.
Excellent start, and I think Liberta are a bit guilty of just letting things or waiting for things to happen instead of trying to make it happen as Gore starts a new over, and that one's defended back up the pitch by Henry, and there's no run. Henry on 40. That one, he cuts through the cover region. Sweeper comes off the boundary. Comfortable single, so he goes on to 41, and the score is up to 65 without loss. We're in over number 8.
Another observation, trying to figure out why is Thomas taking the ball in front of the stumps, which means that if there's a run out, he's going to be fidgeting to figure out as to where the stump is. These are little things that you got to be able to make sure that you pick up. I mean, again, you see where his right foot is again, Terry.
That one's driven firmly up to long off by Benjamin for 1. Benjamin moves on to 16. The score 66 without loss. We're in over number 8. The target is 196. Another 130 from here on in. As Henry waits for Kareem Agor, who's up to the wicket now, and that one is slapped up to long off. A comfortable single. Moves Henry on to 42. Score 67 without loss.
Singles won't hurt Liberta Blackhawks anyhow, Terry, so they'll be all right. It sort of puts some more pressure on Benjamin and Henry to maybe try something extravagant.
Go into Benjamin, and that's extravagant, Vernon. That's in the airport. That's gone. Another INET maximum, this time to Benjamin. Down on one knee and cleared the backward square leg boundary by a long way.
Game on.
Definitely. Benjamin goes on to 22, and the score 73 without loss in over number 8.
And I just feel that Kareem Agor is just bowling too fast. And because he's bowling so fast, Benjamin was able to use the pace of the delivery. If you look at when Benjamin faces Cornwall, there's pace off the ball, so he can't get to be able to swing his arms. With Kareem Agor bowling that fast, you realize how far that delivery went by Benjamin. You got to be able to take pace off the ball.
Cornwall just having a bit of a chat to his bowler. Saying, come on, he's going around the wicket to Benjamin now. And that one is turned into the onside. Pick up another single to complete the over. So after 8 overs, Rising Sun Spartans in pursuit of 196 to cause a major upset here. A 74 without loss, with Henry on 42 and Benjamin on 23.
Well, if we look at in terms of what happened at the end of 8 overs, Liberta was 70 for 2.
So now they're 4 in front.
So the pattern
and 2 wickets to the good.
The pattern and the trend is set. For sure. I can say that to you.
Definitely. But it's great to see that they're having a real red-hot go of it, They're not just sitting back and thinking, 196, that's out of our reach. They're saying we can get this. This will be interesting, though, as Hayden Walsh Jr. comes into the attack. He'll be replacing his captain in Jimbo Cornwall from the pavilion or commentary box end. And Walsh Jr. into Benjamin, and that was a quick bouncing delivery just outside off stump.
His spell is going to be important here, Terry.
Very important. They need a couple of wickets just to stem the tide, that's for sure. As Walsh Jr. turns into Benjamin, and Benjamin's cutting nicely, beating the backward point, beating the sweeper into the boundary, 4 more. Benjamin now moves up to 27, and the Spartans 78 for no wicket in over number 9.
They're having a challenging ball into Benjamin, and he's making them think. He's working them around. Here, GM Benjamin. In the meantime now, this is going to be a good contest.
Excellent contest. Liberta under a bit of pressure here as Walsh Jr. into Benjamin, and Benjamin forward. Peels off the outside edge all along the ground though, to the backward point, and there's no run.
Just pace off the ball. I just think they especially when they're bowling to Benjamin, he likes pace on the ball. Just slow it down. Just make him think. Just loop it up. Let's see what's going to happen.
That one tried to sweep. They scamper through for a single. Is a peel at the bowler's end with a direct hit. Not out, says umpire Joseph. So another one, leg by that time, 78 without loss. Definitely, 79, sorry, with that leg by, 79 without loss. But definitely, Vernon, they need a breakthrough or two just to stem the tide.
Something spectacular has to happen. But in the meantime, Henry and Benjamin, they are believing they can beat Liberta.
Most definitely, as Walsh Jr. into Henry, and Henry is back and across and trying to cut or pull that through the onside. Takes the bottom edge of the bat, no run. 79 without loss. We're in over number 8. Ball by Hayden Walsh Jr. Inni is to Henry, is forward in defence. Half a shout, but it took bat first to complete the over. So after 9 overs, Rising Sun Spartans looking for 196 to cause a major upset here in the Cool and Smooth T20 Explosion semi-finals. A 79 without loss, with Henry on 42 and Benjamin on 27.
In the meantime, Liberta was 74 for 2.
Hoo-hoo. So they're 5 runs and 2 wickets to the good, Vernon, at this stage. And it looks like it's going to be a double change. Is that Kadeem Phillip coming on from the northern end?
And that's why scoreboard, that's why batting first, scoreboard pressure. There was a question mark being asked as to why Rising Sun Spartans sent in, as we would say, Liberta.
Phillip's first ball is turned around the corner by Benjamin. They scamper a quick single. Takes the score up to 80 without loss. Benjamin goes on to 27.
The atmosphere ripe for action here. Everybody, if you're a betting man, you'd want to bet now based on when you see the score 80 without loss, into over number 10.
It's bang on target here, Rising Sun Spartans. But maybe their theory is that, the later it gets, the easier it gets for batting, more difficult it gets for the ball inside, and especially the field inside. Maybe that was what they thought, or they just might thought whatever they get, we'll chase because we got that attitude today, we got nothing to lose. But whatever they thought, it's working at the moment as Phillip into Henry, and Henry sets himself up. He goes high over mid-wicket and beats the fielder on the boundary. Gone for a maximum. High net maximum. 6 more to Henry. Moves on to 48 the score. 86 without loss in over number 11. In over number 10.
Flagman moving around nicely. It's game on here. Rising Sun Spartan making a run at this total.
Henry this time forward in defence, out to Cornwall at short extra cover, and there's no run. It certainly is game on. This is a great start for Rising Sun Spartans. There's Henry looking for his half century. Beaten outside the off stump that time by Kadeem Phillip. No run, and I think Phillip's just having a little chat to Henry. Bit of banter, say, try and put me over the ropes again, see what happens.
He just needs to focus. Keep looking at the ball. The lights are on here at Coolidge.
Philip into Henry, and he flat butts that too long off. Takes the single to completely over. So at the end of 10 overs, we're halfway through. Rising Sun Spartans chase a 196 for victory. They're 87 without loss. Henry is on 49 and Benjamin 28.
So Terry has completed the first 10 overs, and I will bring home the bacon here. 87 without loss. And at this stage, the PIC Insurance Liberta Blackhawks, they were 81 for 2. And I don't want to say it's a headache for Raheem Cornwall, because I think that they got the confidence already. So we just got to just wait and see how they handle the pressure here. They may be just looking for one, looking for two. Here comes Hayden Walsh Jr. comes in out the ball to Henry. And Henry is coming down on a Yorker length delivery. He's looking to back away. He'll be advised to be able to stand up straight and keep his eyes on the ball. 87 without loss. This is what you'll be looking for. This is what you want in a semi-final build-up. Hayden Walsh Jr. is in now to bowl to Henry. And Henry is getting two songs you heard there. He was coming forward, got a little inside edge there. Hayden Walsh was thinking about going up and then just changed his mind. This is an important period of time. 87 without loss. 87 without loss. All
Quicker one up by Walsh Jr. He's bowling well. 1.5 overs just for the 4 singles off him so far.
Good contest moving here. Here goes Hayden Walsh Jr. as he comes in out to bowl to him. He's driving down around 50 to the young man. It's a beautiful knock.
Well played
by Junior Henry. 50 to Henry. And the 13th half century so far in this Cool and Smooth tournament. 50 to the young man. And that's a lovely knock. It's going to be important now to see what happens, Terry, and how far he can go.
Yeah, excellent knock there by Henry. But as you say, Vernon, now the business end starts. If he can keep going, he can stay there another 5 overs or so. Look out as far as the Spartans are concerned.
Good over here so far from Hayden Walsh. Here's a delivery which is tucked away into the leg side area. Coming around there, it looks like it is Yuri Smith, and they get a couple of runs here. They're having a torrid time bowling to GM Benjamin. The line deliveries, because he's shorter in stature and he's got good hands, both on the offside and on the leg side. 90 without loss, and it's a cause for concern here. Likes to cut for sure, I can tell you that. That's his strong point. Watch in out the bowl to Benjamin. Benjamin playing at a flipper. 11 overs bowl, Terry. 90 without loss, and this is going to be a good contest, Terry, as you take over number 12.
Yeah, excellent contest. It's setting up to be 90 without loss after 11 to set opening batsman, 1.5 century. The third half century we've had so far for the match, as Yuri Smith scored 69 earlier on for Liberta Blackhawks, and Terence Ward an unbeaten 70. Hayden Walsh Jr. bowling well, 2 overs so far, no wicket for 7. But you feel that Liberta Blackhawks, the defending champions, are just under some pressure here. They put the score on the board, but can they defend it? They need a couple of wickets as Phillip continues into Henry. Henry is cutting this pass, backward point. Fielder comes off the cover point boundary, but they complete another 2. So Henry moves up to 52. The score, 92 without loss. We're in over number 12. Target 196. 104 more, and this is hit high in the air, and no. Dropped again on the rope by the fielder down there at long on, and he's palmed it. He got 2 hands to it and palmed it straight over the bar, straight over the rope. 6 more, another high net maximum to Henry. He goes on to 58, the score 98 without loss, and they got the target now under 100. 196 they need for victory. They're 98 without loss. Another 98. They're looking for is Henry that time. Short outside the off stump and looking to crack that once again, but loses his shape, loses his balance, through to the keeper, no run. Phillip into him again, and that one is played late into the offside, but the backward point was well aware of what Henry was trying to do on that occasion. In quickly, no run, 98 for no wicket in the 12th over. Swan Henry all around his crease, knocks it up to the fielder at long on, who takes it on the bounce. One more to Henry, he moves on to 60. And the score, 99 without loss. Rising Sun Spartans. Correction, Henry moves on to 59. The score, 99 without loss. We're in over number 12. They need 196 for victory. It's been a great start here by Rising Sun Spartans. No one would have given them much hope of getting even close to the target, and that's stroked nicely through the cover region. The long off has to come round and do some work. Can't prevent them from taking the second run, so 2 more to Benjamin that time. He moves up to 32. The overs completed after 12 overs. Rising Sun Spartans have brought up the century. They're 101 without loss. And that is a terrific opening partnership between Benjamin and Henry of 101 off 12 overs. Benjamin on 32, Henry on 59. They need 95 more.
PIC Liberta Insurance Blackhawks, they were 101 for 2.
Oh, there you go. Can't get much closer than this.
So it's headache time for Raheem Cornwall. And when I say headache time, he still has not used Terrence Ward yet. He's continuing with Hayden Walsh. So let's go to the bowling figures quickly so that folks can understand in terms of what's happening. Landavart, 2 overs, no maidens, 24 runs, no wickets. Kofi James, 2 overs, no maidens, 17 runs, no wickets. Raheem Cornwall, 2 overs, no maidens, 10 runs, no wickets. Kareem Agor, 2 overs, no maidens, 23 runs, no wickets. And Hayden Walsh is starting his 3rd over, 2 overs, no maidens, 7 runs, no wicket. He's bowled well. Here is Henry driving down the ground, down to long on. And they're getting miss fumble there. And they pick up 2 runs. So Liberta maybe just feeling a little bit of the pressure. Kadeem Phillip, his first over, cost 10 runs, 103 without loss. They believe in. They feel they can beat Liberta. Can they? Is the big question still being asked?
Most definitely, but they're giving themselves a great opportunity here to cause a major upset.
Walsh comes in now to bowl to Henry. Henry's back and looking to pull that. And really just needed to just keep his eyes on the ball. He's looking for power. He's looking for maximum again. And Walsh is a little flatter faster. And if I was Henry, I'd be thinking like, listen, I can't afford to give Walsh an opportunity to get a wicket. So this is just his 3rd over. Walsh comes in out the bowl to Henry. Henry is getting a quicker, flatter, faster delivery. He's gone under it there. He's trying to give himself some room, trying to get fancy.
He's bowled well though, Walsh Jr.
Oh, he has.
And he's keeping Liberta in the match.
He has. Hayden Walsh Jr. bowling from the media center in flipper. He'd really want to produce something spectacular here. Liberta needs a spark. 103 without loss. 103 without loss. The target is 196. Here goes Hayden Walsh from the media center end. Quicker, faster. Outside the line of the off-stump. Henry. Too much movement. Needs to just keep his balance. You should have just be able to just get back onto that full toss there and just that was slid away down to 3rd man for a boundary. He's leaving alone. So Hayden Walsh is bowled a maiden. Do I have that right?
I think they just got 2 off.
They've got 2 off him.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but his spell has been impressive.
Excellent.
3-0, 9-0.
Yep. And they may be well advised, Rising Sun Spartans, to just see him off, because they don't want to lose this momentum by one of these batsmen getting out. They've done very well so far, chasing huge total of 196. They're 103 without loss after 13 overs. So they're currently going at 7.9. They need to go at 13.2. But of course, that can be increased as long as they got wickets in hand, especially once they get to the 15th over. However, it's going to be a go to continue, and that one ill-directed down the leg side, swept nicely backward of square by Benjamin. There's the backward square leg fielder there in Hayden Walsh Jr. on the boundary, so just the one. Benjamin moves up to 33. Henry is 61, and the score is 104 without loss. We're in over number 14. As that one is pulled through the mid-wicket region there by Henry. They look for 2, and they won't get it. Just the one. You're sensing here that if Liberta Blackhawks can make the breakthrough, then they would still be favourites to take out this semi-final. But what a challenge and what an effort Rising Sun Spartans are making here. Really throwing down the gauntlet at the defending champions, as that one, Benjamin trying to play that late. It's beaten through to keeper Thomas, and there's no run. Gore again into Benjamin, and Benjamin again down on one leg, looking for cow corner, can't find it.
Different
Another
line
dot
here.
ball.
Different line here, Terry. So the
Coming into him.
the pressure mounting here a little bit on Benjamin. Let's see how he answers the call, as they would say. He has to answer the call. 105 without loss. Go in now to bowl to Benjamin. Flatter, faster. Stays on top of it. And you realize what is happening, right, Terry? The PIC Liberta Blackhawks fielders, they are deep because they know Benjamin is looking for power. He's just got to be smart now to be able to look to pick up some singles. He's going for power again, square. But he'll only get one run as the sweeper comes around. And because he was looking for power in that deep, he should have been thinking about trying to see at least even to get 2 runs. In the meantime, the score goes up to 106 without loss.
106 without loss after 14 overs. Benjamin 34, Henry 62. So run rate has gone up to, the required run rate is 15. 7.57 is the current run rate. So they don't want to dig themselves into too much of a hole here after a brilliant start. But the experience of this Liberta outfit, you can see they're not panicking.
But I don't think it's panic time so much. 14 overs ball,
Not yet.
106 for. At 14, they were 120 for 3. So it's still a good enough contest. They have to make sure that Hayden Walsh doesn't get any wicket in his wicket column. That's going to be key, Terry.
Yep, just see out this over.
Another matter of just seeing it out, but at least being able to be creative to use your smarts. Here is Benjamin again looking for a big booming drive rather than trying to get bat on the ball and just hit the ball down the ground and walk a single.
In motion again, and he's gone for a big hit as he cleared. He has another I-net maximum for Benjamin. He moves on to 40, 112 without loss in over number 15, and that went straight into their own dugout.
Terry, this is going to be a good game. This is the first, we could say, real, as we would say.
It's the first time Liberta's really been challenged.
Well, that's what they know. That's what they need. That's what champions want.
Definitely.
Let's see how they're going to be able to respond to it.
Exactly.
Walsh comes in out to bowl to Benjamin. Flutter faster, beautiful delivery.
That beat
That was
him.
right across him. Hayden Walsh has certainly looked good in this spell here so far. Really good control here by Hayden Walsh, and he's leading by example here. He's really turned up here in the semi-final. This is almost like a final for Hayden Walsh. Comes in out the bowl to Benjamin. Benjamin is driving ferociously, looking for power again. Smack that back to Hayden Walsh. Get a single. Let's see what's going to be happening with Junior. Let's see if Junior is temperament, if he understands batting, and if he understands the game scenario to realize that Hayden Walsh is into his final over. So he doesn't need to give his hand away. 113 without loss.
Just the two deliveries to go for Hayden Walsh Jr. He just adjusts in the field now that he's got the right-handed Henry on strike, who's on 62.
They need a wicket. They need a spark, Liberta. Something needs to give. Something has to happen. 113 without loss. Jennings warming up. They too would be curious. In the meantime, they're paying attention as to what's happening. Long on, long off. Sweep on the offside. Who we have inside the 30-yard circle. A short third man, backward point, cover. And we also have a short fine leg. Flighted delivery. Beautiful piece of bowling again by Hayden Walsh. Full toss, but a little bit low. And again, because of the balance by Henry, he
falling
really
over.
should have been able to put that away nicely once he'd been able to keep his balance. Entire media is out here. ABS television, they're here trying to get the shots. Hayden Walsh trying to slow the game down, making Henry wait. Henry just needs to be able to make sure he's not going to get me in this delivery, Terry.
Yep, just the one delivery to face now for Henry.
113 without loss. They've done all the hard work. Walsh in out the ball to Henry, and Henry gets it. He's followed him.
Well bowled, Hayden.
Well played too.
Yep.
Well played. So 15 overs bowled, Terry. 15 overs. Rising Sun Spartans are 113 without loss. It now means, Terry, there are 30 deliveries to go, and anything can happen.
Yep, but it's a big ask though. 83 off the last 5 overs, so they really need to go at it. But the important thing for Rising Sun Spartans is they can really have a red hot go at it, because they got all 10 wickets in the bank and absolutely nothing to lose. It's semi-finals, so you win, you stay. You lose, you go home. At least if you're gonna go home with a pint.
Benjamin waits for Kadim Phillip. Kadim is having a go at this one here. All they will do is just be able to get one run. Liberta don't mind that.
No.
Because they know that it's always going to be pressure to try to continue to be hitting boundaries. But what needs to happen now is that Rising Sun Spartan needs a big over. They need a 20 over. Where they're going to get that from is going to be key. Let's see if the game smarts and game awareness is going to be happening. Here's
Big
it.
shot again.
Here is it by Junior Henry. Another
Excellent.
INET maximum. Wow. He's giving them a challenge. Conversation taking place between Walsh, Corwall, and Kadim.
Yep, that shot has worked for him tonight. Straight over mid-wicket. And then long on. So he's gone up to 68, 120 without loss. He's gone again. Has caught the top edge of the bat. Hayden Walsh is under it. Backward point. Takes the catch. That is what Liberta Blackhawks were looking for, as Junior Henry's good knock comes to an end. He's gone. Caught Hayden Walsh Jr. Bowled Kadim Phillip for 68. Rising Sun Spartans lose their first wicket in the 16th over. They're 120 for 1. Still 76 required for victory.
Well played by the young man. Well played by the young man. And he played within his limitations. He used his strengths, and I think he propelled them. He gave them a start. And I don't think you can ask for anything else better from Junior Henry. 68. And that was a lovely knock by the young man. 120 for 1. And Shane Burton, who will be booming with confidence, has come out. What sort of innings can Shane Burton now play is going to be critical.
Most definitely, but he should have his confidence up with a brilliant bowling spell earlier this afternoon. 2 for 17 off his 4 overs, while everybody else went for plenty. But Junior Henry, well played. 68 runs, 54 balls, and included 5 fours and 5 sixes.
Here comes Kadim Henry in out the bowl to Benjamin. Benjamin hitting this one down to long on. Coming around is Nathaniel. They will only get 1 run. It now brings into strike the man himself, Shane Burton. I wonder if he's still worrying about that drop catch. Or he's maybe put that behind him. 121 for 1. He got a first ball duck. In
the other night,
yeah. So let's see what's going to be happening. Kadim Henry just flicking up the ball with his right hand. Liberta put under a little bit of pressure, but scoring 195 sort of put some more pressure back on Rising Sun Spartan. Here is Shane Burton. Somebody could be in trouble. Shane Burton. And for some reason, Karim Phillip needed to get behind the stumps, not in front of the stumps. Here was Karim Ago picking up and saying, come on, get behind the stumps.
Definitely a big chance there for a run out, but this is getting bigger and bigger task for Spartans. Has gone up the required rate 17.7.
They need a 20 over. Here is Benjamin.
A couple top
going
edge.
after this one here. Karim Ago is after it. Will he be able to pull this one back? No, he doesn't. 4 runs. And I think he almost looked like he would injured himself. And he flips up now, but he's a fighter. And the Blackhawks, they're not going down without a fight. 16 overs bowled, Terry. And the score is 126. We got that right, Terry?
I believe so. It's
we're just waiting on the
update. Yeah, 126.
Yes, we got
for
16
one.
So it's a big ask, Terry.
It is a big ask. It's nearly, it is 17 and a half and over of the last 4 overs. The thing, of course, that they need to keep in mind is they've still got 9 wickets in the bank, so they can really go for it, but they'll need a lot of luck. And as you say, Vernon, they need at least this over or the 18th over to be 20 or more, 20 plus.
So let me give you the bowling figures very quickly, Terry, so you have an idea in terms of what's happening. Kadim Phillip, 3 overs, no maidens, 28 runs, 1 wicket, 32 runs, 1 wicket. Hayden Watts Jr., 4 overs, no maidens, 16 runs, no wicket. Karim Ago, 3 overs, no maidens, 26 runs, no wicket. And we now see Terence Ward for the first time. This is now going to be the 7th bowler for the PIC Liberta Blackhawks. Here is Shane Burton back and hitting this one inside out, down to Landevalt, who comes around nicely, and he saves 2 runs there nicely. So Liberta, maybe they might say to me and you, Terry, we've got this one under control. But
probably say never in doubt, wouldn't they?
Somewhere along the line, Rising Sun Spartan needs a 20 over.
Yes.
Where they're going to get it from, I don't know. But they need a 20 over. It could be coming off of Terence Ward. It could be coming off of a Cornwall. It could be coming off of someone. Here is Shane Burton trying to play a flashy drive and trying to hit the ball inside out over cover.
He's getting some nice bounce though, Ward.
Oh, certainly. Good revs on the ball there. Terence Ward around the wicket. He comes in out the ball to Shane Burton. Shane Burton is looking to tug this one into the onside. Again, they're going to be thinking about 2.
They have to.
And they get 2 runs quite easily. That won't hurt Liberta. 2 runs there. Jim Benjamin is running for all his worth. And he almost looks as if he's run out of gas. Having been behind the stumps all day and then opening the batting.
Yeah, he's been out there for every delivery. But just 3 shy of his half century, which would be well deserved.
Again, Shane Burton trying to pull away. We'll be advised to get as close as possible to the ball and punch the ball to the offside. Dot ball here by Terence Ward. 130 for 1. Terence Ward around the wicket, goes past umpire Bernard Joseph, in out the bowl to Shane Burton.
Got him.
And he's out caught.
Bowled.
He's bowled, did he? So Shane Burton got nowhere close to the ball. Nowhere close to the ball. Just ran down the wicket.
Yeah, I think scoreboard pressure now is taking its toll, Vernon. The run rate required is up over 19. 130 for 1. We got,
30 for 2.
For 2, sorry. What do we got? 19 legitimate deliveries to get 69 runs. I don't think so. But they've given it a hell of a shake, and that is great to see. That at least they came here to play cricket. They weren't expecting, because they got beaten, and then, the rest is history, as they say, but they got themselves into the semi-final. Little preparation time, you would say. but they've come out and given it a red hot go. Probably, apart from, of course, the one victory they had in the tournament, probably some of the best cricket they've played in the tournament. Rising Sun tonight, definitely with the bat. The opening partnership of 100 odd, 120 was it? Yeah, 120 before the first wicket fell. So they gave themselves every opportunity, but they just kind of come up a touch short here in this semi-final by the looks of things.
So Richie Thomas comes out, and he is expected to explode. Ward is in now to bowl to Thomas. Thomas is going. He goes back and one bounce into Avia Christian. Just for a moment, I thought Avia Christian was going to go for the catch. But I think the practice he was over there deterred him from that. 17 overs bowled, Terry. 17 overs bowled. 131 for 2. Is it all over by the shouting, Terry?
I'd say so. 21 and a half and over. And they've taken too long to get... They've taken too long to get that 20 run plus and over. And that is simply because Liberta Blackhawks have used all their experience. You called it, Vernon, a few overs ago. Just when the 10th, 11th, 12th over, around about that period of time where they were saying, you could see Corner was saying, just go a little deeper, restrict the boundaries. They restrict the boundaries, the scoreboard pressure will tell.
Karima go in now to bowl to Thomas. Thomas is looking for a heave there. He's nowhere close to the ball. And so that's another dot ball. You can't afford to have dot balls here. Got to be thinking about trying to get runs here. That's what you're sent for this big man. He's been sent out there. Richie Thomas. But he can't get any power there. This Liberta team is just too powerful. And under the composure, they've been able to balance themselves. We almost look like we forgot about Jim Benjamin because so many things have been happening.
Yeah, he's still there and he's only 3 away.
He's still on 47.
From his half century, and he thoroughly deserves it, the little man.
He certainly does.
Great opening partnership with Junior Henry of 120.
Here comes Karima Gore in now to bowl to Benjamin. Benjamin trying too hard. Somebody could be in trouble here.
They're going to run him out. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
I think the ball bounced and hit him in the chest and went behind the wicket. So it was Thomas's call. Benjamin wasn't in the frame.
They just didn't have the depth.
No.
Good start, good
Excellent
fighting
start, yes.
But they just needed somebody to come and fire. Even Shane Button came out. You still have to be game awareness as to what you want. So you had to be planning in the pavilion. We needed a 20 over. Because at the time when he came out, it was a good start of 130 without loss.
Exactly.
So we needed to get a 20 over.
Yeah, that was the time to get it if they were
Yes.
ever going to get it. Yep. Yeah. But well done to little Benjamin. Hard luck that he didn't get his half century, but well played 47. And of course, he was part of that 120 run opening stand.
Richie Thomas trying to see if he could find something, but the experience here of Karima Gore forcing him. And he only could get one run. Shadrach Descartes comes out, and the score in the meantime goes up to 133 for 3.
Yeah, Gian Benjamin, 47 of 42 balls. And that included 4 fours and 2 sixes.
2 INET maximums.
2 INET maximums.
133 for 3. Want to be able to give some time to be able to pay some respects to the sponsors. Global Bank of Commerce, Antigua and Barbuda Festivals Commission. We break for a while. Go in now to bowl to Descartes. Descartes is looking to just flick this one around. Gets a single.
Cool.
And they're pretty close, but I think Thomas got in the end. We continue with the sponsors as the score goes up to 134 for 3. Cricket West Indies, Tropical Shipping, Hadid Motors, APUA INET, Antigua and Barbuda Port Authority, St. John's Development Corporation, Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority, Signs and Impressions. Antigua and Barbuda Cricket Association, Images Design, Stonewall Reloaded. As we break, here comes Karima Gore in now to bowl to Thomas. Thomas is hitting this one inside out over cover. But he won't have the legs to come around there, and they will only get 2 more runs again. As we continue with the sponsors, Pineapple Beach Club, Supreme Security, Kennedy's Club Limited. Over comes to an end academic now.
Yeah.
18 overs bowled, 136 for 3. Rising Sun Spartan, by all the shouting, will certainly lose this game. And Terry, at least we had a good first half of the game.
We did. We had an excellent first half, and I love their commitment. I love their spirit in Rising Sun Spartans. It was always going to be very difficult to get 196, a very challenging total, but they certainly gave it everything.
Continue with the sponsors: Pineapple Beach Club, Supreme Security, Kennedy's Club Limited, Stonewall Reloaded, ABCA, Images Design, Signs and Impressions, Antigua and Barbuda Port Authority. As Terence Ward is going to come around the wicket to bowl to the left-hander Shadrach Descartes, the big, tall umpire of the man himself, Bernard Joseph. It's almost like a Joel Garner figure. Ward to Descartes. Descartes trying to go for power maximum, pace off there. He can't get anything there. They only get 1 run. Liberta, large and in control. They're into another final. They're heading
Shut
there.
down the boundaries, that's for sure.
Yeah. Next feature game coming up at 7 p.m. I don't think it will start at 7. It will start certainly after, because the folks will have to get some preparation work going into the context here.
We're closer to being on time, though, tonight.
We're close to being on time.
Right.
I like
we
that.
won't be that much after 7.
I know we're going home at midnight tonight. I can tell you that one. Here is Thomas trying to see if he can clear Avia Christian, but instead he only get 1 run. So it's academic right now. 137 for 3 by the shouting. The only thing is that we're not having Tantimal at this game. That's the only difference. You know about Tantimal, right?
I do.
We're certainly not having Tantimal. Terence Ward, who certainly will be named man of the match. Here is
Oh,
a
he
big one here
might
by
have
Descartes.
split it.
Oh, he was. Oh,
And now we're going to run him out anyway.
Him out now.
That's poor cricket.
Oh,
They were
believe
watching the
that.
ball.
Ball watching. Ball watching.
The catch was dropped on the long off boundary. Kept into play though. And the cover point sweeper helped out, returned the ball back, and both batsmen were basically caught at one end of the pitch watching the ball.
So Richie Thomas, he tried.
He
And
did.
he tried, Richie Thomas, and you have to give him credit. But he has to come back into the pavilion because it's a different ball game here today. And Liberta Blackhawks, the defending champions, a lot more sharper in the field. And Ward coming into the context, 138 for 4. And I would say to you right now that Rising Sun Spartans, they're falling off. They have tried. Certainly have. Ward into bowl to Descartes. Descartes is pulling this one out to the mid-wicket fielder. Looks like it is Yuri Smith. Just lobs the ball back in. Shaquan Hewlett, he comes in. And let's see what his approach would be. Can he find something? Can he come up with a magic? Shaquan?
Bit beyond though, isn't it?
Oh,
Just
Beyond.
slightly.
beyond is not the word. It'll be a miracle. And we've seen miracles before. We've seen a pandemic. We've seen miracles. We don't know. Maybe this could be the night. You never know. We'll wait and see what's happening. Let's wait now. Terence Ward is going to take his time now, thinking about it. He's going to come in out the bowl to Shaquan Hewlett. He comes in out the bowl to Hewlett, and Hewlett comes quietly forward. Oh, so that's okay. That looks good. Hewlett is contented to come forward. What do you think, Terry?
Wow. Doesn't really matter what he does now, Vernon.
He doesn't?
But he could think of his averages and take a nut out.
He's looking.
Oh, he's
there.
not thinking of his
I
average.
think he's safe. He gets away with that one. Nathaniel comes around there. So he's off the mark. And at least he will say as well, listen, I didn't get naught. And I can say to you, so the score goes up to 140 for 4. 6 deliveries to go, Terry.
6 deliveries and 56 runs.
You say that lightly, Terry. You and Jack are smiling. Come on, guys. It is possible.
Just trying to keep everybody in the picture. What's
Anything is
possible, Vernon?
Anything is possible, guys.
Well, unless he bowls,
it's never over until it's over.
unless he bowls 15 no balls off his 3-yard run up.
So, Shaquan Hewlett will wait now for Kadeem Phillip, who's been pretty expensive here by his standards. Not for 32, no, in fact, sorry, 1 for 32 from history, 140 for 4. Kadeem Phillip. He starts from the CIO and comes in out the bowl to Hewlett. Hewlett is just easy on the eyes, stroking this up onto the offside. Nathaniel comes off the boundary and they get 1 run, and the score goes up to 141 for 4. 141 for 4. 141 for 4. How much do they need, Terry?
55.
Okay.
That's 5-5.
Let's start the countdown.
Of what? The balls remaining?
The balls remaining. That is important. I like how you said that, Terry. Here is Descartes driving inside out, down the ground. 1-4-2 for 4. 4 deliveries expected. 4 expected legal deliveries. That's what we're talking about here tonight. Who comes in to strike? Shaquan Hewlett.
He's having a look.
Yeah.
Gonna send this into orbit.
Well, he needs to find something. He needs to get a net maximum. Kadeem Phillip in out the boat to Shaquan Hewlett and cramps him. And all he can get is 1 run. Descartes is upset. For what? I don't know. Because there's nothing else could be done about it. And the score in the meantime goes to 1-4-3 for 4. 3 legal deliveries expected. Liberta heading to a final. Descartes driving inside out. Will somebody take this catch? This will be the 5th wicket. It comes down.
Taken very well.
All over. All over.
And Phillip is telling everybody exactly how he did it. He didn't really do anything though, did he? He just tossed it up and let the batsman
make the mistake. Make the mistake. But
you can't blame the batter because
the captain is coming out.
He had to go for it.
The captain is coming out.
Well, that's good to see.
Yes, it is.
I don't know. The last time I heard from the captain is he was inviting all Rising Sun Spartans because they were going to have a great tournament. Well, he got to the semi-final, so
he has.
He would be happy with that.
Of course.
He's striding out like he means business, though,
but he maybe does mean business. 143 for 5. Shaquan Hewlett. Just down to 2 more legal deliveries. Here is.
That
hit him outside the line of the off stump.
Yeah, but he was
Baltimore
lucky. Offered no
not
shot.
Interested. In fact, Phillip is saying, "Come on, Bertil." He played
offered
no shot. But I think it hit him outside the line of the off stump.
I think so.
So
I've seen it given before.
Yeah, it has, and you got to be very careful with that because he's playing really. He's neither forward nor back. He's going to have to be mindful of that.
Lucky last delivery, 312 the required run rate. Why do they put things like that?
I don't know because you have to put them up. It's a formula.
Right. Okay.
Bruni, the captain.
Who made that formula? Duckworth Lewis?
Somebody. Here comes Kadeem in out the bowl to the captain. The captain is peeling this one off there. So
he gets
Liberta,
one. Well done,
PIC
Liberta.
Insurance Liberta Blackhawks are into another final here
50.
in Antigua and Barbuda. Congratulations are in order.
52-run victory.
Oh, massive, Terry. You said that
Excellent.
lightly.
But they did well because they were under the pump with that opening partnership, but their experience, their guile, their determination got them through, Vernon.
Yes. So what we'll do, Terry, let me just get a chance to be able to give you an analysis in terms of what happened today, because we got to get ourselves prepared for the second game. And Jack Matthew and yourself will start that game. Let me just pull up the stats right there. You have the game also, Terry.
I'll just go and make sure me hair is okay for the second game.
letting you know the next featured game coming up will be Caribbean Union Bank Bethesda, who have won the toss and will be batting, and that game they'll be taking on the team itself, Jennings Tigers. The man of the match for the first semi-final, Leeward Islands player Sinkit's captain, senior team captain Terence Ward, the all-rounder, for his brilliant batting today. 70, 43 balls, 60 minutes, 9 fours, and 2 INET maximums. And to complement that, his spell of bowling, Terence Ward, 2 overs, no maidens, 9 runs, 1 wicket. He's been named the man of the match in the first semi-final and top scoring for the defending champions, PIC Liberta Insurance team, with a brilliant 17. Was also well supported in that knock by Yuri Smith. I thought Yuri Smith should have got 100. 69 in his knock, 47 balls and 58 minutes. Let me take some time out on behalf of the Cool and Smooth organization to salute the major sponsors: Pineapple Beach Club, Supreme Security, Kennedy's Club Limited, Stonewall Reloaded, Antigua and Barbuda Cricket Association, Images Design, Signs and Impressions, Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority, St. John's Development Corporation, Antigua and Barbuda Port Authority, Hadid Motors, APUA INET, Tropical Shipping, Cricket West Indies, Antigua and Barbuda Festivals Commission, and Global Bank of Commerce. The next game coming up, we'll see the Caribbean Union Bank Golden Eagles Bethesda. They will be clashing with the Jennings Tigers, and the news is that Caribbean Union Bank Bethesda Golden Eagles have won the toss and will be batting first. So we got the lineup in terms of what's going on. Jack Warner, Jack Matthew is going to start here to get ready for the next featured games as the work continues. Terry Laraja is into his hot seat. And on behalf of the team here so far, I just want to be able to just get a little break, get myself organized, get a raise and roll, and I will come back to be able to support my team. So, Terry, you start. Jack will be in the hot seat for the first time for the afternoon. Caribbean Union Bank Bethesda, they have won the toss and will be batting tonight in the second semi-final. All to play for. These are the teams, Terry.
Thank you, Vernon. And we're all set for a big second semi-final. Good evening, Jack.
Good evening to you, Terry, and good evening to all our listeners and viewers. What a spectacular game we've had so far, with the Blackhawks again soaring and showing what how powerful they are as a team, as a unit, and really they're looking more and more imposing. Although there was a period where they were slightly challenged. I won't say they were fiercely challenged. They were slightly challenged with a central and opening partnership by Rising Sun Spartans, but it was always going to be an uphill task for Rising Sun to get to anywhere close to that 195. So we expect the second game coming up to be a lot closer. Well, not a lot closer. I think we can say it may be a close game, because the first one was far from close. That 50-run difference was considerable.
Yeah, it was that 120-run stand was excellent. I like their attitude, though, Jack. Rising Sun Spartans, they had nothing to lose, and they came out. They gave it everything to try their best to chase down a daunting target, you'd have to say, of 196. But they gave it their all. But it was just the experience of the Liberta, I think, showed in the end. They were quite content to set the field deep when they weren't picking up the wickets, and just made sure they cut off the boundaries. And then, of course, it got too far out of hand for Rising Sun. So Liberta into the final yet again, the defending champions. And now we wait for Jennings Tigers and Bethesda Golden Eagles. And as you say, it should be a good contest, this one. Jennings Tigers were in some good nick the other night with their international player in George Munzi, scoring a half century. So they'll be relying on him to continue his good form. and see what else they can come up with. But Anthony Roots Martin bowling well, making a few runs also for Bethesda the other night. They want a lot more, of course, from Captain Devon Thomas and Darren Benter, who's been in good form apart from the other night when he went for first ball. But he's been in good form this season so far.
Yeah. And they will rely a lot on those players. The players you mentioned, the teams will be certainly depending on them to fire. It's key for Bethesda Golden Eagles that Devon Thomas comes to the party tonight. I think his main problem is mental. He has all the strokes. He can apply the strokes. But then, as we saw in that last match, when he got 3 consecutive fours, he was looking for another.
Exactly.
There was absolutely no need to look for another.
No.
Because they needed to score just about 8 per over.
Mm-hmm.
And 8 per over in T20 cricket is really supposed to be a walk in the park.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had 12 from 3 deliveries, there was no way you should be looking even for a single of the last ball. You should have been prepared to just bat that last ball as a dot ball, because it would not have mattered. But he was forcing, and he got himself, he got a Yorker length delivery, missed it, and he was LBW. So he needs to apply the mental game. That mental approach needs to be revisited by Devon Thomas. He's a class act. Once he gets going, he can really damage the opposition. So he will need to really apply himself mentally, and I think he'll be able to produce the goods.
Most definitely, and if he does, it will make it extremely difficult for Jennings Tigers. But of course, they got the young Matthew Miller, who's been in fine form with the ball, 13-year-old leggy, which is fantastic to see. He's already picked up a Man of the Match award for 2 for 9 in one of the preliminary games. And he bowled well the other night, even though he didn't take a wicket, but only 30, I think it was 31 off his 4 overs. But I'll just run through the Golden Eagles Bethesda team for you. Got Devon Thomas, of course, Darren Benter, Gavin Tong, Anthony Martin, Jamal Fernandez, and then 3 overseas players in Naeem Young, Tush Kinjigi, and Suzant Madani are the 3 overseas players that they'll be fielding tonight. Calvin Pittman, Shukoi no, he's not in tonight. Calvin Pittman, Timo Thomas, Diego, no, and Kamari Clark. So Devon Thomas, Darren Benter, Gavin Tong, Anthony Martin, Jamal Fernandez, Naeem Young, Tush Kinjigi, Suzant Madani, Calvin Pittman, Timo Thomas, and Kamari Clark, who will be starting for the Golden Eagles Bethesda. And for Jennings Tigers, Jack?
Jennings Tigers will field tonight Matthew Miller, also Jaim Africa, Cameron Miller, Jedediah Martin, Adrian Barron, Orlando Peters, former Leeward Islands player, Paul Miller, Kyle Cabey, along with Kenroy Brown, George Munsey, the Scottish Overseas International, and Morton Brown. That's the 11. So just to recap, Matthew Miller, Jaheim Africa, Cameron Miller, Jedediah Martin, Adrian Barron, Orlando Peters, Paul Miller, Kyle Cabey, Kenroy Brown, George Munsey, and Morton Brown. So it could well be Miller's time tonight, because we have several Millers out there in this Jennings Tigers lineup. We have 3 of them who will be taking part in tonight's game. So they'll be hoping it will be Miller's time.
Very true. Very well said. But Golden Eagles Bethesda on paper look the stronger team. But of course, T20 cricket, you never know. As the 2 opening batsmen for Bethesda are on their way out to the middle. And of course, it's coverage of the Cool and Smooth T20 explosion for 2022 is made possible by CNN Community Sports Network, a subsidiary of Parish League, with studio located on High Street in town here at St. John's. Live matches can be viewed on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and CTV Channel 8. And of course, along with live studio shows. So follow the network for all your live local sporting action. And we're getting ready here.
It will be Jamal Fernandez and the captain, Devon Thomas, who will start proceedings here for the Colin Eagles. Jamal Fernandez, quite accustomed to opening the batting at different levels. He has played for Antigua as well as an opening batsman. In the last game, he batted in the middle, but the ploy has changed tonight. They're going to start with him, and they're going to start with a left-right combination. Jamal Fernandez being the left-hander, Devon Thomas, of course, the right-hander. And so they'll be hoping that they'll get a flying start and put the opposition under early pressure. We'll see what unfolds.
Most definitely, and the crowd is building here at Coolidge, totally under the floodlights now in the evening sky, of course. So it's all set, music pumping, all set for a great show for the second semi-final between Jennings Tigers and Bethesda Golden Eagles, to see who joins the defending champions, Liberta Blackhawks, in the big final, which will bowl off tomorrow evening here at Coolidge at 7 p.m. So come on out to Coolidge if you're in Antigua. Otherwise, you follow the action on CNN, CTV, Channel 8, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram platforms, of course, 97.9 FM and 97.9 FM, Platinum FM on the radio, Cool and Smooth Facebook page, and you can't miss any of the action here as we're just about all set to start this second semi-final. First one won convincingly by
Liberta Blackhawks.
Liberta Blackhawks, yeah, over the Rising Sun Spartans. As we get ready for the first over. Who's going to start, Jack? Tall paceman from the northern end. Can't pick up the number at the moment, but he'll be bowling to Devon Thomas. And he'll be bowling to a slip. A short third man is innings to Devon Thomas, and Thomas plays that nicely through the cover region for a single to get things underway. So he moves on to one. It's Brown, is it? The bowler? Kenroy Brown. Okay. So 1 to Thomas. Score 1 without loss. Just in the first over here of this second semi-final of the Cool and Smooth T20 Explosion for 2022. The winner straight into the final. And the loser will play Rising Sun in the third and fourth place playoff. That will precede the final tomorrow here at Coolidge, bowling off at 4 p.m. It looks like Brown is going to come around the wicket to Jamal Fernandez, the big left-hander. Opening the batting tonight for Bethesda. They've got a slip, short fine leg, backward point, short extra cover and mid-off. And in is Brown. And Brown, like trying to bowl a slower delivery there, but while ill-directed outside the off stump, wide called by the umpire. So 2 without loss.
Losing early control there, perhaps just trying to induce the batsman into some sort of error as well, maybe just testing the waters to see if he would go after it. But Jamal Fernandez was allowed that one to go by, and well wide of off stump.
It's also a sweeper on the cover point boundary, mid-on inside the circle as Brown is up to Fernandez, and it tries to slash that through the cover region, doesn't make contact. Beaten outside the off stump through to the keeper, no run. Yes, mid-on inside the boundary, and a square leg and a short fine leg. So the 2 men out, the cover point sweeping on the offside and the long off. As Brown round the wicket into Fernandez, and Fernandez is pushing that one to backward point, who's in quickly, and there is no run. So 2 without loss. We're in over number 1.
Looking for a non-existent single there.
Sure.
Paul played to the fielder, who closed in on it very, very quickly, and the non-striker Devon Thomas gave him the right advice, told him to put the brakes on, which he did, and he scurried back home.
Brown again up to the wicket, and Fernandez peels outside the out the outer portion of the bat and into the boundary for 4. So first boundary to Bethesda Golden Eagles. Streaky one, although it went along the ground between the short third man and the slip. Into the boundary for 4. Fernandez is off the mark with that boundary, and the score moves up to 6 without loss in over number 1.
An involuntary stroke, because he was looking to play that maybe square or just in front of square on the offside, but he got it off the outside edge. Fortunately for him, it went between the fielders and went downhill. The fielder in pursuit was never going to catch that, and he went away for 4.
And it's caused a change in the field as third man goes back to the boundary. And that one flies off the outside edge of the bat again by Fernandez, but way past the first slip. And the third man does the fielding. So another single to Fernandez. He moves on to 5. The score 7 without loss.
A lack of foot movement, I thought, on that occasion, and perhaps to the previous delivery as well. And looking there to just go at the ball outside the line of the off stump, not really getting close enough with the feet. And I think that's why it peeled off the edge and again went down to that third man position.
Brown back over the wicket to the right-handed Devon Thomas. He bounds in now from the northern end into Thomas. And Thomas is cutting that to point. Can't beat the fielder. No run. That completes over number 1. So at the end of the first over, Bethesda Golden Eagles 7 without loss. Fernandez is on 5 and Thomas is on 1.
I believe at the back of Thomas's mind is what transpired in that last match. When he made a hurricane start, got 12 off 3 deliveries,
right,
and then gave it away. So he has been rather circumspect in his approach so far. Looked to be very, very watchful to the deliveries that he has faced so far, because he knows his importance in the side, and so he's trying to limit the mistakes that can be made by him, and so he has primarily been very, very watchful so far. He's going to see if that holds, because sometimes he tends to get rash in his stroke play. Let's hope that from a cricketing perspective at least, that he will be able to provide the entertainment that we know he can, and the rich stroke play that we know he can exhibit.
Most definitely. There's not many better when he's in full flow than Devon Thomas.
Another key element of his cricket is that he runs very well between the wickets.
It looks like Paul Miller is going to take up the attack. Is it? Paul Miller, number 11. For Jennings from the commentary box end, and he's into Fernandez, who's driving powerfully through the short extra cover region into the boundary for 4. Good shot there by Fernandez. Takes him under 9. Good way to start the over. Bethesda Golden Eagles up to 11 without loss in over number 2.
Jamal Fernandez is by nature a very aggressive player, and he certainly greeted Miller with that powerful extra cover drive.
Miller again round the wicket to the left-handed Fernandez, and that one's spot on target. Defended back up the pitch by Fernandez, and there's no run. So 11 without loss. Employing the slippers, Paul Miller, as he's into the left-handed Fernandez, and that one is dragged down, wraps him on the pad, but definitely going down leg side.
Noticeably quicker, and Jamal Fernandez was late on that, and perhaps he kept a little bit low because it was pushed through by the spinner.
Miller again into Fernandez, and that one pushes out to the short extra cover, who's in quickly, prevents any chance of a single. The score remains on 11 without loss. We're in over number 2. Miller again from this commentary box end at floodlit Coolidge into Fernandez. Again, he pushes to short extra cover, can't beat the field, no run.
Early variation here by Miller. If there was a speed gun, that would be reflected because you could tell that he's bowling at different paces here.
Paul Miller in again to Fernandez, and that one quick but cut nicely. Beats backward point but can't beat the cover point on the boundary. He picks up a single off the last ball of the over, so Fernandez goes on to 10, and we've had 2 overs here at Coolidge in the second semi-final. Bethesda Golden Eagles at 12 without loss. Fernandez is on 10 and Devon Thomas is on 1.
Good comeback there by Miller after being smashed for 4 of the very first ball that he bowled, and just conceding 1 in the remaining 5 deliveries. So not a flying start here by Bethesda Golden Eagles. They will be looking to soar higher, but they're very, very mindful of the fact that the opposition would want wickets, and so they're trying to curb that sort of impact, if you will.
Brown short wide outside the off stump, and it's slashed through the cover region by Fernandez, but he'll only pick up 1. He moves on to 11, and Bethesda Golden Eagles 13 without loss in over number 3. Field just changing over for the right-hander in Devon Thomas. They're still employing the slip for Brown, who will come back over the wicket.
The 2 outside the circle, long off, and the sweep at cover.
In comes Brown, and this one wide outside the off stump and signal wide by the umpire. So score goes up by 1. Brown will need to reload that one. 14 without loss. Just seems to every time he swaps from bowling from the round the wicket to the left-hander and over the wicket to the right-hander, he's just losing the radar a touch.